Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Oh, my goodness. I meant to share something. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I have an image I wanted to share that I made. This is it. Hold on. See if it works. This is, it covered up Tim. I think it says 3 days until court. And take that away. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? So, yeah, we got 3 days until court. And Tim seems to be having a little bit of a rant. You are ready, Birdie. Okay. That's good to hear. Hey, DJ Shelly Shell. Nice to see you. Gail is here. Hi, everyone. Pam's here. Present. Well, I don't take roll call anymore. My days of being a school teacher and taking roll call are far over, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you saying the roll call. Make sure to hit the likes. Timmy better be leaving on his trip to Virginia Beach. Yes. If he wants to get to a city that's very large that he is unfamiliar with, it may be a plan. But I know he's waiting. Is it just, can you see me? Because YouTube is having, or StreamYard, I should say, is having issues with YouTube today. So if anything starts to happen, let me know, because they're having some known streaming issues with YouTube. So just let me know if I freeze. I appreciate that. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you. It's back. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, they've had some issues going on. That's one of the reasons why I was a moment starting late, because I was trying to figure out what exactly StreamYard is having with its issues. And then, well, there was always one in the class. Had to be the one to say present. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you. Oh, my goodness. I should take a poll about what day will Tim leave to Virginia Beach. Hi, everyone. I know that Dinger was very kind and did a estimation of the mileage to Virginia Beach from the area, but Virginia Beach is an enormous city. And so just reaching the outskirts is not necessarily getting into Virginia Beach. So, yeah. But I really, but hit the likes, guys. I appreciate it. So we're going to take a look at Tim. And then if you hang in there, we're going to take a look. We're going to look at this rant. And then we're going to take a look at that second letter he sent. Since we've already, well, I want to show it again. And this time it will stay up and open and out to the public. So we're going to watch Tim rant about gas prices and just a bunch of stuff, because he went missing for a day. And then, interestingly enough, I noticed in today's video, and we'll take a look at that, where he's talking about his, I think he was talking about something in the kitchen. I can't remember. I had places to be today. He had some manila envelopes on his countertop. And something that is interesting is that the correspondence that I sent for everything to be processed through the Secretary of the Commonwealth was in a manila envelope. And that's all I'm going to say. I can't say too much about the case. I know people want to. We are going to let you know, everybody who is a Life and Vibe community member, we are going to have, I guess, if you want to call it, a pre-gaming live on Thursday. I haven't decided the time yet. Obviously, I have some things I'm putting together. Obviously, I'm not going to be up too late either, because I need to get to sleep, because I got a big day on Friday. So, yes, I'm going to make sure that just the members only, we will be doing a members only pre-game to court. And we won't really talk about the case. We'll just talk about everything else. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Miss Vicky. Yeah. Everyone's here. Everyone's present and attending. Make sure to hit the likes, though. I know. I keep being told to. I can't speak. I know everyone's got lots of questions, but can't really say much. We're just going to talk about Tim's rant. But if you have a chance, make sure to hit the likes. and subscribe. I appreciate it. That'd be awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get into this react because I felt like there was a lot to unpack in this one. Obviously, we're going to put Tim. Oh, Tim, why'd you do that? We have Tim at 1.5 speed. He's in a car. Like I said, he went MIA for an entire day. We did not see Tim. Obviously, everybody was willing to get out a silver alert in Florida. I don't know if they're still called silver alerts in Florida, but in Virginia they are. And so we tried to get out a silver alert for Sarasota Tim, and yet it didn't happen. He showed back up. So all's good. All is good. We have Tim back. Fall back on his daughter. I don't know about that. He didn't seem to be hanging out with her over Christmas. So I don't know about that. Yeah, we don't know. Is Catherine's, yeah, we don't know what's going on. Pre-game is an idea in the courtroom taking notes. Well, I'm not going to be the one to do that. Unfortunately. I don't know. I don't know whether in this type of case there's even, I guess there will be some sort of court reporter. I had a friend who used to do that. You can't wait to hear on the results. Well, you know, we'll take a look at the second letter because if you know, you know. All right, Tim. Gosh, 36 minutes. I don't know, guys. Tim goes off on everything. I mean, he doesn't want to take any accountability for his anything. Sometimes you just have to take accountability for what you do, Tim. He's very upset with the president. You know, I don't want to make upset. I don't want to talk politics, but Tim certainly does.
Good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim. I'm out here in traffic, and I mean, I don't know why. It must be some kind of narrowing of the lanes, but I want to talk to you guys about the war. Yeah, I know about this much of a lot of stuff. But I got to tell you, I studied it, and I'm concerned about it because, mainly because, well, lots of things are.
I had a friend who was a Virginia Beach court stenographer, and they actually get, I think, contracts with the attorneys themselves often. So they're coming in with the law firms because she worked for a lot of different attorneys that would be the ones, I guess, in potentially more like civil cases. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm going to be finding out on Friday, I guess. I know I've been part of a much larger civil case with my homeowners association in the past, where I was, again, a plaintiff. So I have a lot of plaintiff experience.
Soldiers' lives, the economy, and you know, it's just a never-ending thing. And what's it all about? Everybody in India and Pakistan over there, they're all lined up for hours waiting to get a gallon of gas, a liter of gas, they call it liters over there, for their scooters. Everybody rides scooters. They can't. They make $90 a month, and they can't eat because of the fuel costs. It's around the world. It isn't just for us. And so it's
isn't that terrible, Tim? And who knows what? I thought Tim didn't watch the news. No.
Choking the world's economy. It's a big crater. It's like owning a boat. It's a big hole in the earth. You can't fill it. And to shoot $1 million missiles to take out a $50,000 drone is ridiculous. And so they're trying to work around that. And to drag this thing out.
I know. It's strange if Tim avoids any type of responsibility or accountability for anything. And this is a great video because I guess whatever's going on here in Virginia, Tim has to work around. And he's very upset because he really did feel, we'll show that second letter again, okay? So if you want to see the second letter that Tim sent, we are going to look over it again. I know I put it as a members only because I needed to. You know, you got to have a little bit of fun out here. Make sure to hit the likes, guys.
I'll tell you what they wanted. They used the nuclear talk, like they're going to build a nuclear bomb. We got to take them out. Because what they really want is regime change. Now, how are you going to change? They want regime change here. The people we got.
Yes. People always. Yes, I would too. I would be fully on board, and I have no problem saying that because I did not vote for this president, and I'm happy to say that. So yes, I would actually like to see an absolute impeachment, and I will not lie.
Moved here. Our government, these weirdos that are in these lawmakers we got. But we're dug in. Our heels are dug in. We're never going to be, ever in my lifetime, not America.
Yeah, I don't need to talk about that. Oh, he's going to, it's He's not worth it. 300 subs. Asking for 25 likes to do a live stream.
Americans,
my goodness.
It'll get ugly before anything, like that happens. So Tuesday, there's an ultimatum, right? We're going to blow the effing crap out of you if you don't. We've been blowing them up, and they still haven't opened the Hormuz. I watched a thing on a documentary, and it got nothing to do with the media. There's tens of thousands of, they don't even know where they're at, bombs underneath the water that as soon as they detect a steel hull, they blow up. They shoot a missile.
Who knows where Tim heard that from? And we also don't need to have cultures separated by national or country borders. Very easy to have cultures live amongst one another if you're not spreading fear constantly. Tim doesn't know what he's talking about. Tim's understanding of geopolitics is about as good as his understanding of the Virginia legal process.
These tankers don't have that.
I'm just going to say.
Or something that's not detectable.
Sorry.
And that's why they're able to pass. These people have been doing their own defense, like we have, like every country does, for years. You think in a few weeks or even several months that we're going to ever, just walk in there and, we got two countries now. And Israel's basically the United States. We provide them everything pretty much. They're a tough fighting force. We're a tough fighting forse. And yet Iran isn't going, we quit, we surrender. What does that tell you? So you get the narrative about how we're blew them to the Stone Ages. We've just decimated their military. And I'm sure we've done lots of damage because we've got higher levels of things than they do. But
really, we have people like you, Tim. Doesn't seem like a very high level to me. I have no problem. Look, Tim, this guy ripped off $58,400 from the American taxpayers and gives terrible medical advice. And as a registered nurse, I find his medical misinformation appalling. Oh my gosh, the cheap off-grid living Mikey has no idea why iodine was introduced into table salt. And the fact that when people started using sea salt and not taking table salt with iodine, the increase in goiters went up again.
They got the terraria to put things. You just can't go into it's 3 times the size of Texas.
Hey!
You cannot just go into a country and expect that you can just wipe them off the map, without nuking them in any short order.
Pretty
and regime
much.
change is ultimately what they want. They want the people to rise up and say, hey, look, our government's weak. It's now our time. And then, of course, it's going to become a country that we're
I'm
wanting
okay
to be.
with that.
Then we can work with them easier with oil. And I don't know. It's some end game. It's always something that we're not hearing. It isn't about, it is, but it isn't.
And I think a lot of the questions you asked me earlier will be answered tonight. I responded to your comment, Kay. And I was quick, but I think some of it will be answered if you stay and give me a thumbs up and you hang in for the second letter because we're going to show that again. So it will explain some of the dates.
That they want to, nuke us. They probably would because they got some crazy people that were running the country. And so, yeah, we had to do that. But supposedly we did that already, right? No chance of nuclear bomb. We got them. A few weeks later, there's a chance of a nuclear bomb, so let's go in there. They want regime change. But what do they got? They've got
Tim, I don't even want to go over the history of what happened after 9/11 and the potential that all of these weapons of mass destruction that we said that the Iraqis had, and we found out that potentially was not the case, and it was a massive, injustice. I mean, not to say that the things that happened were not horrific, but we really didn't have a necessary legitimate reason to have a push into Iraq the way we did and put so many not only their people's lives at risk and did put their lives at risk, but our own and our military. And then just the collateral damage that happens when these people return home from war and they have PTSD. But you don't even think about the fact that maybe your own grandson could be drafted because of decisions that you make, Sarasota Tim, and you take no accountability and no responsibility. And you don't want to take any responsibility about you needing to even be in a courtroom. We'll show the shenanigans that you sent again because it's hilarious. That second letter is as bad as the first. And once he realized, this is after I spoke about the second letter, and he realized he's not getting his wish list.
that are still running the country. They got so many second, third, and fourth string quarterbacks that are, it's like, you're going to change Christianity here? There's a lot of people here that don't believe in Christianity, but we're a Christian nation. That's a Muslim nation. You're not going to change their ultimate politics and religion. That's them. Let them do them.
Oh my gosh.
And live and let live. God created everybody not to be the same. So, yeah, when there's danger, we got to take care of business. But we're not getting any of the truth of what's really happening. And I think it's senseless.
I think people would like that to happen. I think there's a petition. Seems fair.
And of course, Trump doesn't want war. He doesn't ever want another war again, he said before he got elected. And our young men. And so he's done everything to prevent that so far.
Yes.
And I don't think he probably will.
That's an awesome point, David. Thank you for pointing that out. David says, sitting in the air-conditioned truck because the best camper AC sucks in Florida. And I think you're absolutely right. This is the time of year we just get Tim spitting out one video after the next in his car, running up that car battery and his gas, having to spit the AC because the AC isn't as loud, I guess, in the truck as it is in the camper. You know what? I'm going to give you a round of applause for that comment because that was awesome, David. Thank you for that. And take a sip of my tea. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, back to Tim.
Because he knows it would be, I'm here at Dick's. He knows that it would be bad politics. So anyway, I'm concerned about it. And here's what now you can expect.
Yeah, we're not.
AI says that people will.
Yeah, we have Christians and Muslims and people who follow the Jewish faith and Buddhists and atheists and pagans and Satanists and whatever the heck you want to talk about. That was the one thing that was really important, was the separation of the church and the state. And so to try to bring the religion into anything within our government makes us, not separating those two bodies. We cannot do that. Half of these churches that the rapture going on with Pete Hegseth at the moment. All these people think that they all need to wipe out entire groups of people in order to go to heaven. Absolutely appalling. I don't think that's it. I mean, what the go on with that? What the Old Testament going on there? It just doesn't seem like it's just wackadoodle. And anybody who thinks that's on board and kosher, I'm sorry. My personal opinion is my opinion only. That's some wackadoodle stuff. These people are dangerous. And besides from the fact that, and this is my opinion and my opinion only, Donald Trump does not only seem to appear to have some type of progressing Alzheimer's, but potentially a case of neurosyphilis going on. Just saying.
Will not be prisoner.
And that's because I'm a medical professional.
Nobody can.
So that's how I'm able to give these opinions. No, I'm just a talking head in the car ranting like Tim. I'm actually a medical professional. And so, and I worked in hospice for an extended period of time and was a case manager in hospice and worked like people in hospice that had really bad, because not everybody passes away in a peaceful manner unless they have drugs to help them get that way. And some people can get some really bad agitation at end of life. Like, not talking about the rally, because people can get that. I'm talking like Superman strength and weird stuff and agitation and all sorts of like cussing, and just it gets wild. And they can get very violent sometimes. I mean, we've had it that patients that I've had to care for in the past have had, the wife's trying to care for them, and it's a man that's potentially, already the one who's actively passing, because it can take a long time. It's not suddenly quick. That's all just for TV. The people who do this stuff on TV have no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, they can like lash out and like punch people and stuff. It gets wild, man. And I used to have to manage some really complex cases like that because, you need to make sure the patient's staying safe too. It gets wild. All right. Don't want to trigger anybody. So trigger warning to that. Sorry.
Afford it. I can't afford it. Pakistanians certainly can't afford it. And so we will switch, and this is probably an end game, to alternative fuels, to alternative. People ride bikes if they can't get scooters. They'll ride electric bikes. They'll use solar. We are being forced into by, they wanted to do it. They've been wanting to do it. And, we've got a lot of people here that are anti-electric cars and stuff. I'm telling you, here in Sarasota, Bradenton, that's the hottest selling thing. There are more, every other car is a Tesla. And I know you got to pay a lot for them because you're paying up front before they start paying for themselves. But
I would be so concerned about having a Tesla in Florida if you ever lost power for any extended period of time. That would be my only concern with vehicles that rely solely on electric power. Now, I understand the electric hybrids are pretty decent. But to have it that if something were catastrophically to happen, not to be able to have access to being able to, get to my car easily. That's my only concern around those fully automated electric cars. And they sound strange. Like every time I look around, I hear it. I'm like, what is that noise?
Don't ever have to wait in line to get gas if there's a shortage. Your electric bill might go up and you might have to pay a lot of money for one. But people, I've never thought more serious about it. I can't pull a camper with one, but.
Well, I'm actually a descendant of Thomas Jefferson, so that's probably why I say that. Wish my grandma were alive. I'm actually, believe it or not, because my family's all from Virginia, and my family came very early in the history of Virginia. And one of my descendants, or I am a descendant of Thomas Jefferson. So no wonder I'm so interested in separation of the church and state. I know it's not constitutional, but that's kind of like part of what America's founded on. Because they didn't want to have any of that stuff going on, because there was all sorts of stuff, persecution, religious persecution. Not that there wasn't religious persecution that went on, but you know what I mean. But yeah, thank you for sharing that little tidbit of history. This case of no doubt is all records for non-payment. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what details he'll need to give over because the Puritans were persecuted in England. Yeah, we shouldn't persecute anybody. Everybody should be, able to practice what they want, unless it's going to cause mass amounts of harm to other people. Do you know what I mean? That's not something that should be practiced. Okay. I think morally, as a collective group of people, we don't like that really. And it's been going on since the dawn of time. And we have understood that a lot of it is to do because a small group of people want to either one, control and have power, obviously. And secondly, they make a ton of money from it. Really. And food. Shoot, if I lived on a farm, I'd grow my own food and I'd become a vegetarian, or if I couldn't buy cattle and be a meat eater like a carnivore, I'd have to live. So people are going to have to. We're going through a big change. Tim suddenly got off-grid fantasies that he's going to be out growing food. Can you please? Can we please not, Tim? There is nothing that ever says that you have ever wanted to do that. Tim just has a lot going on, guys. Tim's struggles are absolutely real. Make sure to hit the likes coming in. You guys have been fantastic.
And people say, well, I got plenty of money. You do. And you don't care about change. You'll just keep paying until there is no more gas or something. And you'll just spend until you can get what you want. But that isn't everybody. Yeah. That isn't the masses. The masses and around the world. Forget about just us. Think about the other countries. Think about those people.
All
right, those people, they don't hate us.
Well, Tim also talks about taking his family on a vacation. And he's not going to be able to do that because of the increase in gas prices. So he says a lot of stuff, Bernie.
They're just trying to live and raise a family and love their children and make a buck, just like us, just like good old Americans are. Forget all the racists, forget all that, and just, God created this world.
The racist. Tim, you are a known racist, bigot, xenophobic, homophobic, every phobic I can potentially think of right this minute. Hateful, racist, bigoted SOB. That's who you are, Tim. This is who you are, sir. We've seen how you've interacted with other individuals in other parts of the world, which is not very far from where you are in Florida, and you're horrific. And then the things that you've said, I actually had to have somebody point out one of your nasty terminologies because I was so unfamiliar with it. Because having grown up in England was not one of the, bigoted terms and xenophobic terms that I heard. I heard plenty of the ones that English people call people in Europe, and they're not nice, and they were used all the time. Took me a while to realize, like, oh, these aren't things I should use to denote other people. It's not nice, and it's derogatory, and it doesn't come with any good connotations.
We got different types of people. God doesn't want America to be the only ones to go to heaven. God doesn't want us to be hell, we got some terrible people here. Yeah. Believe me. And you know that. So get out of your mind about hating other countries. It's the people. It's the governments that are running it that are doing these things in the world.
Well, we know
and they're so evil. They're so overrun by power and money and greed and backdoor deals. And that's what's going to end this. Really, it's probably some backdoor deal. We're going to.
Well, I know that, Tim. I had a family history that people have looked me up would find out that I had a very powerful brother-in-law who was part of these elites and world leadership. So I understand a lot about this more than you think, Tim, but I'm still not going to be out here ranting about geopolitics. Well, I have a little bit. But Tim's, consumption of AI content and Fox News is probably not going to make him an expert on any of these topics.
I have to try to exit it with some kind of, story, some kind of narrative.
My allergies.
That, we won. And
sorry, I'm going to be told off for twitching my nose. Obviously, the pollen is awful in Virginia. I wash my car every day, but I've been out with the dogs. My allergies, I can feel my nose twitching. So I apologize for scratching my nose. Colder. Maybe Tim has really bad allergies.
We reached a deal and we opened up the Hormuz and all of that. But here's the bottom line. Oil is at $113 a barrel as of yesterday. By the end of summer.
No, so not next week, I can't say
we're talking towards the fall. At the end of some months from now, we have to deal with this, which is very costly to our country and our government, for the war, and for each American's pocketbook.
What?
It's got to be paid for somehow. So by the time you're completely broke by the end of summer, oil will probably settle around $90 a barrel. Every $10 that the oil comes down per barrel drops gas 25 to 30 cents.
So, we're back to the gas rants, everybody. Drop in the chat what you just paid for your gas. I had, it was $3.99 for regular gas in Kroger today in Virginia Beach. And I also managed to get some 4 times fuel points the other day, which are always a good thing to get at the Kroger. So I got, I think, and I had some built up. So I think I got like 20 cents a gallon off. So I ended up paying $3.79 a gallon for regular, which I think is pretty decent. What are you guys paying? Because Tim's not happy. Tim's not happy at the idea of whatever. And he's just not happy.
That means that we'll be settling around $3.75. Today, the national average is $4.19. First time over $4 in years. How about when we saw inflation going up after the pandemic? You think the pandemic was something they just changed overnight? It's going to take them the best part of a decade, and we're already almost halfway through it. As their game plan to move us from the previous United States of America to the new world order,
I know.
where you'll own nothing and be happy. Ownership of property and things like that will not be affordable.
200, Lord.
They will be making some kind of big battery truck, I guess, to pull campers. If people can afford to still go camping.
That's a good price.
I don't know what the future is. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you that when you owe $38 trillion in debt and you just keep kicking the can down the road and you don't do anything to pay it and you borrow again, and then it's like people with credit cards. They pay off one with no interest, just make them a minimum payment. And then when that one ends, they get another credit card to pay off that one with no interest, plus the fee to transfer the.
No. That's you, Tim. You have a bunch of credit cards. We know that. And you have to keep using them so that the credit card companies will keep your cards active and open. This is stuff you did, Tim, back in your time, so that you could have toys to play with. It's only been recently that you really came into like a large sum of money, because Tim never really came into a large sum of money, like an inheritance probably when his dad passed, or, a bulk amount of cash until probably the the EIDL followed by the YouTube payout. There's and that was regurgitated content. I know.
Balance, and they just keep leapfrogging over. Meanwhile, nothing gets paid. In this situation, we don't do that in our government. We're paying interest. We're paying more money every month in interest on the $38 trillion, soon to be $40 trillion, if it isn't already, in interest payments than we are in our national defense budget. That's pathetic. That's unreal. And so if you don't believe that the Social Security Administration is at a real threat by a certain year, that they, first of all, they don't think about how much they care about senior citizens.
Yeah, I would have no idea. I've had the same credit card for 20 some years. So I have no idea.
Anyway, one, you don't make a dime. You don't earn anything. You don't pay in anything. You ain't part of the club. They're just giving you what you gave them earlier, but they forget 18. That. And so the raises every year, the COLA is zero. In 40 years, it hasn't really gone up anything at all. So
it costs you $50.
What, 4 years ago or something, we got that big bump, 8.7%, which was like,
North
if they
Louisiana,
didn't,
that's awesome.
And they're probably going to have to do something again because it doesn't pay the rent. The average Social Security check does not even pay rent on a 1-bedroom apartment today. But those are coming down because they can't rent them. People can't pay their rent. So it's just a big mishmash.
Why are you talking about rent, Tim? And I want to thank everybody for being so generous with your time and effort to watch my channel. I've given the dogs 2 treats that I know will keep them occupied, hopefully, for this entire life so they won't wrestle. They bring out rope toys and they do all sorts of stuff. They have no shame. So hopefully between the walk and this treat, I can at least keep them occupied for a little bit. Tim is on a roll, man. 36 minutes. Where is he sitting, by the way? He looks like he's parked in front of a retail establishment, just parked right in front of the store. Look, there's an entrance for a store right here. Here's Tim for 36 minutes. Can you imagine? He obviously got to wherever he needed to go to get to the mall because he's got to, shop because that's what he does. He had to sit and finish out his chat for another 20-some minutes. That's wild.
Of hell. It's hell on earth. It's last days. It's end times. It's, I don't know what. It might go for another 1,000
Thomas.
years.
And I think you just, I don't know what you came in, but Thursday, I need to figure out the time. Just, I don't know if there's a better time. Maybe I should put a members poll and ask which time works best on Thursday. Maybe I'll do that. But we're going to do a members only pre-game to court live, just members on Thursday. So if you are a member of the Life and Vibe community, we will see you then. And hopefully we'll have we'll just have fun. We'll just relax. I'll find maybe some fun stuff to share. So I really want to thank you. Let's see who got the memberships. Casey Grits, yay! Gen X, look at you go there. The real the real gnome. Sorry. I had to see the letters. Tracy Williams got one, and S. Lauren Lloyd. Oh, that's pretty good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Thomas. That was so kind. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to appreciate that. So thank you. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be very thankful. So thank you, Thomas. That was so nice of you. And like I said, they will be able to join on Thursday for the pregame now. So that's awesome. And a couple of those folks are in the chat tonight. So that's really great. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. And that will get a lot of people upset. So I appreciate it even more. And for that, you get a round of applause. And for that, I get Judge Joe Mathis.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry bacon. Well, I mean, how do you know what that is?
Yeah, and I want as many members as possible to come and join us for this live, so we can have fun before court. and we'll probably do one the following Friday. That's going to be some member perks that we've got given out. So thank you. You got 4 times fuel points at Kroger the other day? Yes. I think I ended up getting 55 cents a gallon off. Yeah. I have their credit card, so I was getting an extra 25 cents a gallon off, but it stopped. You know, the other thing that people also do is they'll get the gift cards. So if they know that, okay, this is what, so if you know, and it's hard to get them, especially the Home Depot. But if you know you're going to Home Depot and they have the times points for the gift cards, you can pick those up as well. And people will go and like max out for the gift cards on stuff and then get those Kroger points and then get those for the fuel off too. So, but the Home Depot ones can be hard to get because the contractors all know that trick. So they all go up to the Kroger and they'll get those Home Depot cards and then they'll get those fuel points off. So they're a hard one to get, but that's a good one to get. Especially if you know you got a DIY project or something. You bought gift cards for friends for their birthdays. Yeah. Kroger is great for that. Yeah, but you should always think like if you have like a project or something coming up, or you know you're going to go say to the Apple store or something, and you have the cash in the bank, and you want to max out those Kroger points, just go ahead up there and get the gift card for it. And get those 2 times Kroger points and just go use it for yourself. These are Ray's shopping tips. My grandma was like a coupon queen. Does he think life is all unicorns and rainbows? Real adults face life's trials and tribulations head on, do the best they can, and try to find something joyful to appreciate. I think he thinks it's all about Tim, because that's always, Thomas, the biggest theme that he has is that he's going to make sure that he gets out and he does his fun and this. And I think that's how he managed to, have so many different marriages and so forth, was because, once the sort of, novelty of the relationship and all the, parts where the relationship actually becomes, a commitment, becomes work, becomes compromise. He didn't want anything to do with that. And that's what he did something about why women don't want to date men on one of his videos. And it's hilarious. Angry Timmy isn't believing his God right now. Well, he's not as been praised Jesus lately. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. All right, keep going, Tim.
And we might evolve into a new, like I said earlier, resources of a way to get through this, to live. Universal income. I don't know what they're going to do. Take over some other countries and steal everything, all their resources, so that we can feed our own mouths. Everybody's fighting for each other. Nobody wants to live and let live. It's just a big mess, folks. And you get the narrative from whatever blue, you're on the blue team or the red team, you're getting the narrative preached to you of lies, of telling you what you want to hear. They're just trying to keep calm, because if we ever woke up.
You're the one who seems teams and politics, Tim. Most of us try to look at what the policies are, not about teams. I think you're the one who got fear-mongered into stuff.
And realize what they're doing. We wouldn't stand for it. Just like if they ever come down
the rest
to
of us
really,
are like assholes.
Something. You can't be put in a corner. You're going to come out. So that's just a rant. None of it's true. Some of it's true. All of it's true. I don't know. But the fact that we're at the reality that $4.19 national average for a gallon of gas. And yeah, we got vehicles that are getting 25, 30, 35, 40 miles per gallon.
Well, I'm going to have to do something more than that, Ann. You know that. Life in Vibe is a monetized business channel, which is why I'm protecting my business. As many times that people want to fault me for having a business, I do try to ensure that medical misinformation is addressed. And that's why I'm so interested to get to the video that Mikey talked about, the iodine and stuff, just out of interest. There's some other things too. So just other types of topics, because and Tim is, he's we got a lot to talk about that day.
And it's still palatable. But don't you see? Because they finally got cars and they're reaching those MPGs when they're on the highway only. They're like, hey, we're not making the money we were on that fuel before when people were getting 15, 17, 18, 21 miles per gallon. So let's raise the gas up.
Yeah. Where was Tim Easton?
$10 per barrel, they lower it when it raises or lowers the price 25 or 30 cents. That's all dependent on the state you're in, on the taxes they pay that they add to it. That's just a national average.
No, he doesn't watch that in.
It's a lock. Gas prices are here to stay for the foreseeable future. The war isn't ending anytime soon.
Great. They might actually go up then, Tim. Have you thought about that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Tim. Tim doesn't like the fact he got duped.
Make me a liar. I would love to be a liar about that.
I don't want to be mean.
It is a mess, a total mess. And the others are restraining from getting involved in it because maybe they, one, are afraid, two, they're smarter, three, they realize, I don't know.
That is good to know. That's good to know. Thank you. See, I watch no news. You see? Not that I don't try to keep a little bit of watching some stuff because I don't want to be completely ignorant. But for the last hour or so, I've been out walking the dogs and getting ready to go live. But thank you for sharing. That's good news. I'm glad to hear that. A lot of people will stay safe. That's good to know. Oh, keep ranting.
He's under NATO.
Well, he's,
you keep hearing.
Hopefully, he can get his.
Nobody wants to help us. We're the only ones that think straight. We're the only ones. I'll tell you right now. When we go sticking our nose in other people's business, not that it isn't a good idea to make sure that somebody doesn't rise too big and cause world harm like nuclear bombs. We got to have deterrence. Don't get me wrong on this. But when we go in all the time, telling people what they need to do, they don't like that. And there's too much secrecy and devious stuff going on. Violence and all these things that are happening in our country, we're numb to it now. All these crazy things that are local, street level, of what people want to be, do, say, how they act. I mean, everything has changed. We make videos all the time talking about the old days. And you say, well, I'm just going to bury my head in the sand.
Well, people do that too because people enjoy nostalgia. We had a nice chat about some nostalgic stuff too the other day. I've thought more about maybe sort of videos that are more around, keeping things and stream things that are definitely of interest for us, but not all, Tim ranting. You always tell when Tim getting upset about stuff because he goes back to the politics.
Doesn't pertain to me. I don't care. It does pertain to you now. When you go fill up your gas tank, or when you go to Publix or Winn-Dixie and buy some food, when your kids' school tuitions go up, colleges go up, everything is up. And you're like, hey, what's going on? My boss didn't give me a $100,000 a year raise. I need to make buku bucks. I don't want to have to worry about my bills. I want to worry about if I got buku left over to go and enjoy my life, to see this country, to take my kids camping, to go on vacations and cruises.
What?
Once all that starts getting cut out.
What's this about taking his family camping and the cruise? Who? I think Tammy paid for the cruises, didn't she? What? Who's he? Hold on. Who are you referring to in all of that, Tim? Hold on, we gotta go back at least 30 seconds. Can we listen to this again? Who is he referring to?
Your kids' school tuitions go up, colleges go up, everything is up. And you're like, hey, what's going on? My boss didn't give me a $100,000 a year raise. I need to make buku bucks. I don't want to have to worry about my bills. I want to worry about if I got buku left over to go and enjoy my life, to see this country, to take my kids camping, to go on vacations and cruises. Once all that starts getting cut out, life gets pretty darn boring when all you're doing is working to pay your bills.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. He's upset. I think Tim's struggle is pretty real over here. I think he's concerned that he might not have his money to go out and have fun. What pills, Tim? I think he never took his kids camping. Well, I think I know the buku. He is now from LA, Gail, sorry. He is now. This dude is miserable. Yeah, he's pretty miserable. I think I'm making him miserable. All these other channels want to talk about what Tim's miserable about. We know why Tim's miserable. We know why he's miserable. He's not getting his way. He's been able to get away from accountability all the time because most of the time, these things that he's ever faced have either been like minor misdemeanors, traffic, like speed tickets, which he probably took care of, or anything with his previous spouses. I'm sure they really try to avoid as many attorney fees as possible, just to make it inexpensive for all involved. And so I don't think that anybody's really held Tim to very good accountability for anything. And because this is actually a business lawsuit, and I'm not going to say too much, but because of that specificity of the case, oh Lord, that's a hard word for me. It means that the long arm statute is able to be used, and also the type of actions that he took against the channel, or part of the reason, because it was so many, is part of the reason why it's able to be used. So the case is a little bit different, and I don't think he probably understands. It's $6 a gallon in California. Jeez, that's just, I know. I'm so sorry, California.
Bills and get by. And then something comes up, your washing machine doesn't
work.
Plumbing goes out, your well stops.
Oh, I did want to say, though, because I do have a considered fuel efficient, and tell me in the chat if anybody has this in their state. But because, and I think Tim talks about this at some point, but I might have forgotten. I have to pay every year to the Commonwealth of Virginia, the start of the year, when I pay some type of registration or something with my vehicle, I have to pay extra, like $200 some dollars. It was last time. God knows how much it'll be this year. Extra due to the fact that my car is a fuel efficient vehicle. Now, I think I might have paid ahead on it because I paid for 2 years of my registration on my license plate. But Virginia sends me like a bill saying, nope, your car is too fuel efficient. Therefore, you owe us an extra $250 because you didn't pay us enough tax money, or in fuel tax, even though I drive all the time for work and have to drive all the time. And I can't write the business miles off because of the way my job does stuff, you know? So you can only get the business miles once you've arrived at a destination, and then it's like all the mileage in between or something. I don't know. There's special rules.
You know, your car breaks. And then these guys are telling you, oh, we're going to rip you off and charge you all this money because we're broke too. And we're going to charge you all we can get.
I'm okay with that.
It's not like there's so much opportunity that people are like, we're going to cut you a deal. You know, I'm looking to build your business for future. You and tell your friends. No, they think this is it.
Well, I didn't have it that bad. I didn't have it when I had oh God, what was his name? When we had the Democratic leader. It was only happened when I had that marshmallow and a fleece, Glenn Youngkin. That's when it got bad. So maybe that's why I didn't see it this year. Or maybe I need to check out what's going on. I think it's because I paid my registration for 2 years. Because I'm like, why did I see that bill this year? But I think it's because I paid my registration ahead of time. So they didn't send it to me this time. Maybe, who knows?
If I don't get it now, I'm never going to get it.
Check my mail, that's for sure.
And it's creeping more towards that. If it hasn't happened where you live, it's coming. I mean, I'll use you another analogy. It's way off topic. I'm here at Dick's looking at shoes. Last time I went in there, I was sticker shocked. Used to be 80.
Look, he's inside. He's with Dick's. Look, he's sitting outside Dick's. And he's still going to sit out there for another 18 minutes. I'll keep ranting, Tim. He's upset about the shoe prices now. Well, Tim, you know that shoes, often the treads and stuff are made from petroleum. So that's going to be all oil. There's a lot of products that are made from oil that's not just gas. You understand that, Tim, don't you? You understand that, Tim, don't you? Tim, hold on. I need to knock on the door. Tim, you understand that gas is not the only product that oil or petroleum is used for, correct? Because it's going to have a knockdown effect in a little bit. So things are wild now. Wait till they've run out of supply, and then they have to get everything up. And even with the ceasefire, it's going to take a while to get everything back up and installed again. And then the prices are probably going to go up for the summer anyway. All this instability it's caused. Tim.
$90, $70 with an expensive pair of shoes. And it still is, because nobody's got $80, $90 now. Not everybody. It's $150, $210 for a pair of shoes. Will I pay that? No. I'm not going to buy those. But I can tell you right now.
Voted no.
This?
Oh, no, I did the opposite, obviously. I voted yes.
This thing that we got involved in, and how would you like it if you're riding down the road and everywhere's rubble, blown up? I mean, there's not enough bulldozers. They've never built enough bulldozers to go in and just clear a road. But you got nothing to go in. Hey, I used to shop in there. It's all rubble now. Hey, we don't have any electricity now. Oh, that bridge, I got to go 40 miles around to get across over there now. And who does it affect? The normal everyday person that doesn't care less whether they wear a turban.
He probably sold those on Facebook. You didn't see those ones posted on Facebook Marketplace, Tar Heels? You didn't see it posted? Come on.
Or they're in short pants. They just want to live and do their job. They're not part of the deal. Let's go find somebody and blow them up. Even if they believe.
I hope Tim realizes that the previous Commonwealth Attorney General, I was very good. I know that family very well. Not obviously we don't share the same politics, but despite that, I took care of their kids for 10 years. I've known that family, and the family has known my family for generations. So I hope you're prepared to come into the Commonwealth, Tim.
It. They don't do it. We have a lot of people here that are been convinced to hate other types of people based on their skin color or what they wear or whatever. People have lost all sense of reason. It's a rant. It's a rant. And when I rant, I'm all over the place. But I'm upset this morning because I'm like 419 national average and climbing.
Oh, he's going to start ranting about attorneys soon, guys. He's back to the gas, circling back around to the gas prices. Oh, he's going to keep going. It gets better, guys, because all the way out from here, I think you're going to know what he's talking about.
$113 yesterday for a barrel of oil.
So we were buying it for
$20, $30, $40. It went to 50 or 60, was like sky high years back. But it just keeps getting higher. The higher the gas mileage cars get to be, they're not buying as much. These people are so greedy. Like the billions and billions of dollars they made isn't enough. They're like, that's not going to last them their lifetimes. Why do they need more? And these poor people in California, they get taxed to death on the fuel. What a messed up state. I used to live there when it was California. What a shame. What a sad shame that.
All right, Californians, how do you feel about Tim shaming your state?
It's got the best weather, it's got the best waves, it's got the best beaches, the mountains, the desert. You got everything right there in that state to go in this direction or that direction or that, any direction you want to go to God's country and feel perfectly outside in the weather. And they took it and just destroyed it. That part is still good. You can't destroy nature and the weather, but to live there, the politics, the cost, sad. But anyway, that's my rant this morning. Hope it wasn't too much for you.
No, he's not even finished yet. He goes on for another 15. And I did save one of some comments he probably deleted. So we'll take a look at those too.
I think if you believe in God, you need to pray. You need to pray that this world, that the other governments, our government, our leaders, that God changes their mind, does something to fix this mess, to get us back on track, or to figure out what road are we going to go down that everybody can be happy again and live a respectable life with self-esteem, and they can hold their head up high and live amongst other people and enjoy life like we were created to do. That's why I don't watch the media.
I think he skipped out on some child support as well. Oh, this is why Tim doesn't watch the media, everybody. Listen to this. Words of wisdom from Timmy.
It's like, what's the point? You're just getting lied to. I don't care which channel you look at. It's a bunch of hogwash. Absolute hogwash. Do you know that those people on the news make millions of dollars per year? Those famous hard bodies and those handsome gentlemen on Fox News, you know they get paid millions a year? You know, I can read a script, you know, and I'd do it for a lot less than that if I could read the truth. But these people are paid.
Look at that. Oh, I should have had that. That should have been my thumbnail. I'm sorry, guys. I had to reuse the picture because I was in a hurry. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But look at that. Keep going, Tim. He's so upset because, Tim's YouTube channel isn't making that it used to. And so he needs that to happen because, now he's upset because the, Fox News people make a lot of money. That's who is out there with the war plans too, Tim. Yeah.
Now, you don't think for millions of dollars a year that they'll say whatever they're told to say?
IQ tester.
So they can live this great, luxurious life? MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, ABC, CBS, all of them. Yeah. They're like, look, we'll give you this much money to work for us, but you got to do this. This is the angle. This is the game we play. I'm in. Trump said when they get elected and go to the...
They're not journalists, Tim. They're news actors. You understand there's a difference, don't you?
White House or go to the Capitol building. They look around, they see all the tall ceilings and the pillars and the wood walls and the libraries, and they say, I'm never leaving here. Tell me where to sign. I'll do. I'm on board.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't have violins, but I do have something else I can bring out instead because, yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, he really is trying to be like a stinky old fish at the moment. I wonder why he's so stressed out. I don't think it could be gas prices, but for a reason.
Joins a firm. And the senior lawyers there say, oh, no. It isn't about helping people. It's about billable hours. And soon.
All right, guys. If you enjoy watching a stressed out Sarasota Tim and somebody who thinks this is going on with attorneys, we're going to go back.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that drive Megan. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
And Virginia is probably one of the most expensive states for hiring one. And that's where he needs one. But we'll go back. Make sure to give me a like for this, guys. If you enjoy seeing Tim just, giving the game away as to why he's so upset, give me a like in the chat. I really appreciate it. It helps people find this live. And maybe they'll feel inspired to join the Life and Vibe community. And that'd be fantastic. Maybe you'd be inspired to subscribe too. I have to do the YouTube piece. Over 50% of my audience watching it are not subscribed to the channel. All right. Okay, Tim. Keep on going, sweetheart. I'm going to take you back just a second because he's upset that attorneys have billable hours.
But these people are paid. Now, you don't think for millions of dollars a year that they'll say whatever they're told to say so they can live this great, luxurious life? MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, ABC, CBS, all of them. Yeah. They're like, look, we'll give you this much money to work for us, but you got to do this. This is the angle. This is the game we play. I'm in. Trump said when they get elected and go to the White House or go to the Capitol building, they look around, they see all the tall ceilings and the pillars and the wood walls and the libraries, and they say, I'm never leaving here. Tell me where to sign. I'll do. I'm on board. A lawyer joins a firm, and the senior lawyers there say, oh, no. It isn't about helping people. It's about billable hours. And soon, what they set out to be as a lawyer to represent, they become corrupted, and all you are is a dollar bill to them. This is true. This is true. I was part of it as a car salesman. They want to sell you on how they're working for you. Meanwhile, they want you to pay as much as you can for a car so they can make a commission. Every dealer still works today the exact same way. I don't care how nice, how whatever they say, they could care less about you. You are a dollar bill. The more you pay, the more they make, and they're there to make. It isn't like Publix. This is the price of the bread, and there's this, used to be a small profit margin. Who knows what they're making on it now? They're making so much money. And they always chalk it off to, well, it costs us more for the trucks to drive it here because they're paying all this diesel fuel. Everybody keeps using that excuse. Well, it's costing us more.
I know. Oh, I'm thinking somebody might have spoken to some folks. And, Tim, he'll spend $600 on an absolutely worthless trailer hitch without a problem. Or $27,000 or whatever plus on a, by the time it was all said and done, and he got the gold wing back to Florida and had to fly back to Georgia and all that stuff. I mean, imagine going out to visit your family and the only thing that you can think about is buying a gosh darn motorbike. That was all Tim could think about. And he didn't even ride that motorbike really around Georgia. He got that thing back to Florida. And then he had to fly back. The Spirit airline content was about the most interesting thing he has done. And he hated that probably because he had to pay for an airline. Because I understood He was trying to get someone to drive him back to Georgia. He didn't want to pay for that airline, guys. Tim is a cheap son of a bitch. Except on himself. When it comes to trailer hitches, clothes, you know, any of his little bits and bobs or whatever, Tim will spend without a problem. Anything else, even to save himself legally, he's angry and upset. He likes to think that he's the one that's getting the deal, who's doing it, and somebody else, my Lord, it makes him mad. Makes him mad.
Our materials cost more. Our costs cost more. They jumped on that so quick. As soon as one of them said it, they all immediately overnight jumped on it. And meanwhile, their costs aren't that much more yet. Maybe it is now with this war.
Was that
Nobody's getting a deal.
Yeah.
And in all that talk about the golden years, I voted for Trump. I support Trump. I don't support everything about him, but I didn't support the alternative. And I'll look at the next one coming down the road and I'll vote. But I know I'm going to be lied to. I know he's going to be corrupted and part of the deal.
Yes.
Everybody succumbs. I don't care how much money they got to the deal. And besides that, how do you think a man gets elected that was nothing, that had no power the day before he gets elected to be the most powerful person in the country to saying he is? It isn't. It's like I just said about the car business, the military, the lawyer firm. It isn't that way. This is how we run the show. This is a club. And if you want to get elected, it's not an election, it's a selection. And we saw that already. The election before last. It's a rigged system. That's one thing.
He suddenly realized that all the things he thought he could get away with aren't going to work. Those stellar legal letters that he sent aren't the ticket to his, getting out of anything. He has never had to face a consequence in his life, this man, because he's always run away. And he wants to run away from this. He's more concerned about getting his e-bike delivered. Tell you. He's not going to make you, as much as you're going to lose in court, Tim.
He's absolutely right about it. And that's why I support him and voted for him, because I really feel, other than when his hands are tied, and his hands are tied. Look, he can't just get anything done without both chambers of Congress, Senate and the House, approving it. He's not a king. He's not a dictator. I hear you out there saying the no kings, yes he is, and all that. He isn't. He hasn't got any more power than that they allow him to have through the democratic process. But the democratic process is, even though it's probably better than anything in other countries, because we're living happy for the most part, it is backdoor.
I know.
You ever see that show, House of Cards?
I guess they're going to send him one every couple of months. I mean, if he keeps asking for them, I guess they keep sending them. He's probably asking for them.
That's really what it is. So we've tolerated it. It's always been that way since the beginning. And, as long as we got ours, we didn't care. We care.
It sounds like he's really hopped up on something for a man who says he doesn't watch the news. Tim, I wish I thought this was because you're concerned that your grandson could be drafted into the military. I wish that were the catalyst to all of this ranting, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's because you realize that you're going to have to travel out of state. And the funny part is that at some point at the end of this video, it's going to come up where he talks about his travel plans or how they have to change and how he has to do a workaround.
A little bit, we didn't do anything. And now, $4.19, $100 to walk out of a grocery store or anything. How many $4.19s do you have in your bank? How many hundreds do you have in your bank to eat before you're not? But this narrative that, this is good for us and screw the rest of the world, and those other people that make $90 a month can't buy a liter of gas. Did you see them? It's on YouTube. They're not even in line. They're just like a crowd. They're carrying Pepsi bottles and Coke bottles to put some more in after they run their scooter out. And they can't even buy a lot. They can't even hoard it because they don't have any money anyway. They only got a few dollars to buy what they were waiting in line for. That's sad, man. That is sad. I'm going to be praying. And I invite you to pray with me that whatever we don't know, we don't care to know. We want God who knows everything.
Person you pray for only, Tim, is you. And the next couple of minutes, he comes into talking, getting really upset because he's he gets his little tantrums going.
To fix it, to help us and to help other people around the world. Pray for those other people. Don't be hating that everyone in Pakistan or Iran is a hater
Judge Mathis
that wants to kill you.
We'll get, yeah, he is. Every time he talks about these gas prices, and he can't really tell his audience what he's doing, because that's why his vlog channel's so bad. He's not once talked about the fact of anything. And you'll see on the next video we take a look at what's going on behind him on the counter.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best drive bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yes, it is.
That is not true at all. Now, I'm sure they brainwashed a lot of other people there, like we've been brainwashed here, to hate on them, to hate each other. And they continue to do it every single day. Well, I'm out.
I don't hate anybody, Tim. That's you. That's on you, mate. That's your bigoted ways. That's your xenophobic, bigoted, hateful ways. It's not everybody. Thankfully, it's not everybody. And it's becoming less, thankfully. Because I think people, Jesus, Tim, we're going to take forever to recover from this globally. It's just, oh my gosh, do not talk geopolitics. Gosh, Tim, you don't either have an economics degree or a politics degree or anything. Okay? That's why I stay away from these topics generally too. You're going to give yourself a heart attack.
I was part of it.
Yes,
and I still get moments where, especially when people are unkind or rude or acting in a certain way, I just get away from them. I just put them over and let God sort them out. It's not my job. I just do what would Jesus do, right? And I wasn't always that way. And I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here saying I'm this newfound Jesus freak. Live like me. Yeah, live like me. Live like Jesus instructs us to live. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have forgiveness in my heart. I'm releasing all those that did me wrong to him. Let him sort them out. I ain't got time to waste my mind.
Oh, I got time for all the people who did me wrong. Jesus is going to sort me out, guys. Okay.
That crap.
I'm excited.
I got too many other things. I'm too busy living a reality than to live in some other thought plan. I don't need that. I got no time for that. Life is here. I'm down to here. I got this to enjoy, and I want to make the best of it. And when things started coming in to obstruct that, now I got to do a workaround. I got to change my whole plans now. I'm not going all the way to Moab at 4.19 and plus per gallon, and it increasing every day as I get down the road when there's no relief until the end of summer. I'm going to have to go much closer. I'm going to have to do what I got to do. I've got to watch what I've got. You got to watch what you got. You may be canceling your own plans that you had. Cruises, flights. You know what airplane flights cost now? How are businesses affording it? Where they used to fly their people on a drop of a hat. Just buy the ticket, go. We'll pay it.
It's because businesses often have contracts with the airlines, or they send their employees on the worst red-eye flight times and stuff. Because that's what I used to have to fly. They're not putting you at peak travel hours. They're putting you at whatever the red-eye cheap-ass flight is, Tim. That's what I've experienced when I had to fly with corporate stuff back in the time when I had worked in publishing and I had to fly constantly in Mexico. I worked for a publishing company as a business development as a business development professional, I think consultant or something. But I worked for Pearson Education, and I would go all around Mexico to give these big lectures to school teachers, and depending on the product that I was delivering would be the age group of the class. So for example, we could do kindergarten or elementary school or college or adult learners, high school. There was all different types, and of the elementary school products tended to be some of the most popular, as well as some of the adult learner ones. And I would go around Mexico. I was flying constantly. But they always had you arriving at midnight and stuff, Tim. So it's the cheap flights.
Supporting that now.
And probably now they just have you do it over Zoom. But a lot of times they like somebody in person, and they'll get the teachers there, and you do lots of fun activities to kind of demonstrate how the product works. It was a fun job. I did that in my 20s. I got to see it. Didn't get to see a lot though, because I just arrived really late at night at some beautiful, sometimes Puerto Vallarta, and I'd be at the Hyatt right on the water, and they'd give me a great room overlooking the bay. But I'd arrive at midnight, and I'd try to order some food and eat something and try to prepare for my talk. And then I'd have to be down there really early the next morning and have packed everything up, because I'd have to check out before I delivered my lecture or my workshop because of the fact that the the checkout times and stuff. It's hard work, Tim.
As you can see out of this rant, there is a lot of truths that I'm talking about that need to be fixed. And we're the ones that can fix it with God, with prayer. That's how I'm going to end this video. God is telling me right now that if you want things to change, then you just need to bring him to his feet. He says, ask me for anything. So quit.
Yes, it can.
Not quit asking for yourself, but ask for our country. Ask for our president. Ask for the other governments to have God touch their mind, to give them reason, to make them realize that this is causing problems for people that they think they don't even care about. We have to care about everybody. You can't just pick and choose because they pay taxes and they don't. He works, he doesn't. He's this color, he's that color. He believes in this, he believes in that. You can't do that. You have to make an earth that God created available, the trees, the shade, the rain. God says he puts the rain on the good and the bad, the just and the unjust. The sun shines down on all of us.
What was that about that workaround though, Tim? I need to go back over that part. It was right over here at minute 31. Then we'll speed him along. Right over here at minute 31, Tim talks about he has to do a workaround.
Affording that now. As you can see out of this rant, there is a lot of truths that I'm talking about that need to be fixed. And we're the ones that can fix it with God, with prayer. That's how I'm going to end this video. God is telling me right now that if you want things to change, then you just need to bring him to his feet. He says, ask me for anything. So quit, not quit asking for yourself, but ask for our country. Ask for our president. Ask for the other governments to have God touch their mind.
I know it's right here. Hold on. Let me go back just a tiny bit more. Where Tim talks
cruises, flights. You know what airplane flights cost now? How are businesses affording it? Where they used to fly their people on a drop of a hat. Just buy the ticket, go. We'll pay it. How are they affording that now? As you can see out of this rant, there is a lot of truths.
Just before that, he talked about the workaround. I'm not going to keep going. Let's go over to here. All right, Tim, did you say anything else interesting?
And pull them up and throw them in the fire, cast them away. And the master said, no. By doing so, you may uproot some of the good plants. Let them grow together.
Yes, that's right.
And then at the day of harvest, the end of the world, I will separate the plants from the weeds, and the weeds will be thrown into a fire. He'll do the separating.
Okay.
So you can't be any clearer than that. We're to grow together, and he will be the judge. Yes, we have to take precautions. Yes, we have to protect ourselves. All the way down to street level, government level, our country. Yes, absolutely. Military, of course. But for reasons that they're not saying, and there's no real threat, or it's got some other alternative motive, we need to get better direction. And we can't afford it. And I think that they know that we can't pay our bills, so this is some way they think they can go and steal it to pay it or afford it. You know, they've always said the best thing for an economy is a war, right? I've always heard that.
Yeah, Tim, God is Tim's personal vending machine. If Tim needs money, he asks God.
So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is this just a rant and I'm completely off base? Is there some truth to it? Do you agree with it? Do you think that the media is BS? If you don't think the media is BS by now in 2026, they really got you brainwashed. It's not even entertaining anymore. I used to watch it.
But yeah, Tim, I listened to him. So I'm going to keep you going, Tim, but you were the one who got all on board this stuff. I don't watch all the stuff that you think I watch.
I used to like some of the shows and like root for my team. But then I realized this is dumb. This is really dumb. And you're causing me to become more of a racist or, thinking that these people over here, just because they don't like that person or that president, they're wrong in their thinking, and they're wrong in their thinking. I don't have the answer. Only God again. It gets back to God. It's messed up. It seems like so much damage has been done. It's like when you're calling me so much repair, it's worth just junking it and getting a new car. Right? It gets beyond fixing it all. A house. Just demolish it. Buy a new one. Build a new one. It can get to that. It can get to that for sure. So, all right, I got to go in here and look at some shoes, I guess, or do something. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida. Hope you liked the video. If it wasn't too much for you, crush it.
Oh, Lord. It was a lot, Tim. Goodness me. Oh my gosh, this is incoherent. Yeah, he's really starting to spin. And probably because he found out this isn't working. All right, let me just turn it up in the preview because I got to see this thing. Hold on. Let me see because I got to read this. Okay. This is the infamous letter 2. And I meant to set up, oh gosh, because people were saying that I made up this letter. And just to get, just for giggles, I guess, when I was raising money. And thank you, everybody who helped me raise money for Junebug. She is very grateful. So thank you. But no, I didn't make it up. Let me try to make sure I don't dox everybody. Hold on. Trying to find 2 sticky notes here so I can hide some stuff. Hold on. It's talking about my forms for court, but that's not the worst thing. Okay. Trying to find 2 sticky notes so you can see that. Hold on. All right. See, and if I do that, these sticky notes aren't very sticky. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to try. Okay. I don't want to dox Tim's address again either. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a postmark on here, okay? And it says it came out of Tampa, Florida. Don't know anybody else in Tampa, Florida, on the 31st of March, 2026. That was its mailing date. Sorry, I've got something. I'm seeing. Well, let me make me bigger for a second. Oh. That's a Tampa, Florida date. Well, from Tim to me. And the letter, I know this is the dumb stuff I have to do. And I don't want to show it, but there's the letter. All right, it's on the screen. I don't want to dox people too much. I already did that the other day. But yeah, he wears his sunglasses in court. Yeah, well, I don't think they're gonna allow that. So, but yeah, this is a true and genuine letter. I don't have the willpower to make stuff up. I'm not that motivated for that. I don't have to make stuff up. It just happens for real. So it says, so I made sure to not dox everything here. Let me hide the chat for a second. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. No, why am I so small? Oh gosh, sorry. Assuming I was doing some weird stuff. Okay, let me get over to here. Oh, is it here? No, maybe it's up in the comments. Yeah, here we go. Oh, otherwise I hide stuff. Okay, there we go. All right. Second letter. Okay, let me see. Let me see this. Why am I not seeing it here? That's odd. Should be right here. Interesting. Oh, I don't want to do that. Hold on. I'm trying to do it from here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let me see. Why am I not seeing my... That is so odd. Oh, here we go. That's why. It's under something else. Okay. So it says here, male body, consolidation and service requests. Consolidation and service requests. Clerk of the General District Court of Virginia Beach, Judicial Center, and he lists out the address here. And it says March 26, 2026. Obviously, it was a request to consolidate the hearings and note lack of service, he says, on these cases. And in a moment, we are going to see that Tim has a ton of manila envelopes. They're specifically the types of envelopes that I use to get anything mailed through the process of the Secretary of the Commonwealth. As I said the other day, I guess Tim just thought he was going to be privately process served every time. And this doesn't make sense because I actually filed affidavit of service on the 24th of March. So I don't know if how this conversation took place, but the clerk isn't there to give legal advice, as I've said before. We'll make this quick. Tampa is bigger mail hub for Bradenton and surrounding areas. Yeah, well, I know that, for example, we have to get mail to like the Richmond hub, when I mail stuff out. So if anybody gets mail from me, it might say Richmond, Virginia. It used to say Norfolk, but Norfolk, but not anymore. Your pressure rises when you listen to his foolish gibberish. You're from Tampa, yes. Well, his came, but people have said that I fooled people about this letter, and obviously I wouldn't do that. It's too good to be made up. Dear clerk, I am the defendant in both cases above. I was properly served and notified of a case GV, blah, blah, blah. And that was because I paid for a process serve. But this time I did it, and I also used, obviously, the Secretary of the Commonwealth. I have to use that service. The Secretary of the Commonwealth is the service I used, and I then have to also send it to him. But I can send it just first-class mail, which is what I did. So that's all I needed to do. As long as I go through the Secretary of the Commonwealth to do that, and that's all I needed to do. So he was jumping on something that was not the case. So none of this is going to hold any type of legal water. Anyway, he's trying everything. None of this is going to get him out of these issues. And this isn't as I don't know. This is funny. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody who understands anything about the law, and I'm not going to be here giving any type of help or legal advice to Sarasota Tim. It's not my job. Neither is it the jobs of the clerks to give him legal advice too. So I've always found it interesting that he talks about what the clerk told him that he should do, because they wouldn't risk their job like that. I am the defendant in both cases. I was properly served. And then he says, set for a hearing April 10th at 8:30 via WebEx, Zoom, and Courtroom H. There's been no mention ever to Tim of any type of WebEx or Zoom. This is all a fantasy in Sarasota Tim's head, that he can just turn around and request that. For example, if Tim were to call me to court in Florida for anything, I would have to appear in court in Florida. Now, he would probably have a very difficult time trying to bring a long-arm statute for anything to bring me to Florida. He would probably have to come to Virginia and pursue a case. I just happen to have an opportunity that I can bring him from Florida for this. And there's a very specific statute for that. They don't do Zoom. They don't. He's living in a fantasy. This is a fantasy that was made by Sarasota Tim. He wasn't properly served because he didn't get through a process server. Then he says he sent this to you by first class mail. Exactly. And there's forms that I've actually, interestingly, on the 24th of March, I don't want to give too much away, I did go to the courthouse and file the paperwork to say that I had completed the affidavit of service, like for the Secretary of the Commonwealth, because I had to have a special form notarized and uploaded to the clerk. And I also had to make some amendments to the notice, the warrant. So I did all of these different things, and all of that was submitted. So none of this is true. He just was calling and hearing about it, but I have served him in the correct amount of time and the way it's supposed to be done. Oh, he's just desperate. Yeah, it's desperate. And after I spoke about this letter the other day, he ranted about the gas prices and stuff, because I think he realized then in real time that this isn't going to work. And for so many reasons, this isn't going to work. No, he wasn't concerned about my loss of income at all. Absolutely not. And I actually have an income. I'm not just a hobby channel like some people. Oh, this is just the best. This has got to be one of my favorites. It's almost as good as the motion to dismiss, the first one. This one's even better though, because I'm sure when he found out this next part from the clerk, he was like, I wish I had been in the RV with him that day. Today, March 26, 26, when I called your office, I first learned of case, and then this one claim for $29,000. It's like $29,083 or something like that, with 6% interest since some time ago. Just to say, scheduled for April 17th, 2026. I have received no summons, complaint, or notice of service in that matter. Nothing by mail, in person or otherwise. And that's not true. That's not true. That's not true, Tim. The clerk didn't suggest anything, Tim. I submit this request immediately to combine both on the April 10th hearing for efficiency. They would never... as they involve the same parties and related claims. No, they don't. One's a small claims case and one's general district court. So no, they just happen to be in the same courtroom, Sim, but they're not the same case. I don't know. I have to still do my part. Let's put it that way. And I am doing my part, but that's all I'm going to say. I can't say too much. Case is coming up, guys. You know that. I can only tell what Tim's shenanigans are. The court never said that. I respectfully ask the court to consolidate cases, these two cases on hearing on April 10th, 2026 via remote appearance. And then he gives his, little WebEx because he needs his little, that's where this like imaginary WebEx link is going to be sent to Tim, so he can just show up by Tim. They don't even allow phones or iPhone watches into a courtroom in Virginia. How are you going to be the person who just gets to appear by a Zoom call? No, sir. Note the complete lack of service. That's not even true because I have the certified mail receipt, Tim, that I had this process served through the Secretary of the Commonwealth. So those are some shenanigans in this letter, sir. You're getting fat, Roscoe. And either dismiss it without prejudice or consider or continue if consolidation isn't granted. So Tim is this is the second time that Tim has really worked himself into trying to get this case dismissed with no attorney, no proper legal filing, nothing. Just this shenanigans of a letter. I am ready to appear remotely on the 10th. Oh, that's great to know, Tim, but that's not what's going to happen. Please confirm receipt and send any WebEx details. There isn't a WebEx, Tim. It's a courtroom in Virginia Beach. I don't know what part of this you don't seem to understand. And then he says, certificate of service, whatever the shenanigans this is. It's not a DC form, that's for sure. I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of this request was placed in the U.S. mail first class postage, prepaid. Well, how else is it sent if it's not prepaid, Tim? Addressed to, and then obviously me in Virginia Beach, Virginia, day 30th of March. So this was on the 26th. This was on the 30th. I mean, he couldn't even he's so unconcerned about his troubles that he had because he really did I guess he really does think his magical praying and sending these types of letters in the mail is going to suddenly move a $29,000 warrant and debt judgment away for the shenanigans that he caused on the internet. No, doesn't happen like that, Tim. And thank you for all who contributed for that. I just wanted to make sure that we had fun with it again. Oh, yeah, he is absolutely grasping at straws. Can he ask for a continuance? I'm not going to give him any legal advice, Anne. I know you guys are interested. And I know it's interesting, but from my perspective as the plaintiff, I'm not going to tell him anything because that's not my job. My job is to unfortunately, it's not for me to be mean, but it's just, I just can't, give every part of my strategy away. Because there's obviously, when you're dealing with something legally, you do have strategy. And as much as you know, this has been going on for a whole year. It's been going on even longer than that. This has been going on with him for an extended period of time. A long time, if that's what you're referring to, Gen X. But these shenanigans have been happening for, I know when it was seemed like when the first cease and desist from my end was sent, but it started back in December of 2024, particularly towards me, and then back in earlier for some other content creators. And if you guys are enjoying this and you do want to help, and I don't mind asking because it's my dogs and this is my channel, this is, and I'm here to make sure also medical misinformation isn't given out. You can help support me, and Miss Vicky was very kind to give support to Junebug, and we want to say thank you. And many of you the other week in order to see this letter, and yeah, oh yeah, I know you all. It's okay. I just have to be, diligent into, not wanting, because I think his magical praying and everything else is kind of taking over his life, and I don't think it's going to work. And the fact, this time he signed it, of course, and then we, of course, got the infamous, I cannot, the infamous sunglass emoji at the bottom. And it says literally on this thing, sign. But, I don't think he understands. I don't think he grasps the full enormity of what's going on. Oh, I know. Well, we are hoping for the win. Obviously, any good attorney will be more on the pessimistic side and consider any roadblocks that could be potentially put in the way of anything. I am not, as even though the ball is in my court as far as, ensuring that I've followed proper court procedure, which I have. And you'll see in a moment. Let's bring up his other video, guys, where he has, let me take this one down. Actually, let me do that. Let me do this. There we go. We got 3 days of court. I had it better done the other day. I don't know why that's coming up like that. Okay. Tim is in his caravan. Oh, sorry, his caravan. God, that's the most British thing I've said in a while. In his RV, his trailer. You know, so I love to say that. And he is getting a shout out. We're going to skip over all the coffee part because that's not interesting. Watching Tim unbox his coffee and give a shout out, I'm sorry, guys, it's not interesting. It's only after he starts talking. Now, what we need to take a look at over here, and I will put Tim to 1.5. Oh, he's already at 1.5. Is let me see, make sure that I might have to hide the comments here, guys. And I like to give you guys all a shout out. Oops. But just because the countertop is what I want you to see in a minute. Well, I know our response. Well, I understand that. That's probably, well, I understand, but I understand that Tim has no merits. And he certainly doesn't have proper preparation. I do. I understand that. It's just it's sometimes it's just hard to hear the constant pessimism of the attorneys. I promise you. And I know it's part of it. I just wish that Tim would understand, and rather than his, oh, Bertie. Oh, thank you so much to support Junebug and Roscoe in the channel. Well, thank you, Bertie. I certainly do appreciate that. They are snoozing out at the moment. They finally, Junebug and had a nice walk, as I said, and they just got their favorite treats from Kroger. It's hard for me to buy because I'm a vegetarian, but I love my dogs, so I do it anyway. And I understand, they're already consumed, but they get these little hoofs, and they get them filled with like peanut butter or something. I don't know. They always sell out really quick at Kroger. It's one of their pet pride products, but it's got some type of filling in it, and they just adore. They're heavy mouth chewers as pit bulls, and they've been like working on those things for the last hour and a half, and now they have passed out. So that goes to them, and I appreciate it. Yes, only friend in the community. Well, there's St. Louis Scott. There's this guy, Michael, he mentioned. Yes. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. But just to be, fair use, let me skip over.
Coffee. I'm going to save this box because I'm going to be putting my grease
guys
that I pump into my axles into a box. I saw somebody doing that. And I'm going to buy a bunch of tubes of grease and start
keep going, Tim. Hold on. He's blocking the view.
lubing up the trailer wheels. Hey, shout out to Poland.
There we go. All right. If you see on the counter here, right by his iron, he has a lot of papers. One thing that we noticed that he has is a green. Sorry, I feel like if I flick on my cursor, it's going to come up on the screen. But I know that Gen X. It's just obviously. It's been a long time dealing with it. That's why I guess I'm paying some people to be more doing that stuff. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to be the person. That's what Tim needs to be worrying about too. Oh, the 70s chest hair coming? I know. I just want to have one of those, positive sounding attorneys like they always seem to have on TV, is defending a murderer. Oh, I know. It was a terrible thing. It's just, I know. I promise you, PBS is probably one of my favorite channels. And I used to listen to a lot of NPR. Probably around that time because I didn't have a TV when I traveled as a nurse, and I would watch YouTube on the computer, but for a while before I got a personal hotspot set up and stuff, I would listen to the radio and listen to a lot of NPR. It was pretty good actually. Kind of, and I would just cook and listen to NPR. I was beginning very intellectual. And I did a lot of reading. It was kind of nice actually. Not having the, I guess in some ways, it's obviously having a home and the investment of a home is, but not having the responsibilities of the home and the respect of the big cleaning and the big maintenance and the big care that you have to give to a home was awesome. But if you take a look here on his counter, he has a lot of paperwork on the side. He has just a lot of papers. He has manila envelopes. Specifically, I sent manila envelopes when I served all my papers through the process serve from the Secretary of the Commonwealth. So it seemed to be very unusual for Tim to be getting so many A4 manila envelopes. And I had to process serve through the Commonwealth like 3 times because the first case, the second case, and then an amendment when I found he had the address was slightly different from the actual RV park. So I had to do some things, obviously, to close my ends. And yes, I know that the attorneys are pessimists. That's okay. I work in healthcare, and we try to be a little bit more optimistic for our patients. I mean, we try to be realistic, but obviously we try to have a certain sense of optimism, I guess. So it's hard for me in healthcare sometimes to be hit with it, especially I've been dealing with a lot, okay? A lot of nonsense. And especially this guy doesn't seem to be understanding how serious this is. It's a lot. Anyway. You'll see he's got them on his countertop. And then he's got a little green certified receipt. I recognize those receipts because I have a lot of those receipts myself from all the times that I served Mr. Baker through the Commonwealth. And so I think that one might be that first letter he sent me, because the first one he sent me came certified. You see here on this little green bit here. I don't want to show the front because it's got all my addresses on it. But that's the certified letter that came to me originally on the first motion to dismiss that he had. I think that's what I see on his countertop there. Because when you get them sent, let me see this one. Okay. So this clearly says that this is see, the service is slow. This was the second case that I sent through. The warrant, it was on March the 13th to Richmond, Virginia. So that was and they're just going to take a long time to process serve that stuff to you, Tim. But I sent that stuff out pretty early on. So, and then the next time I got in touch with them was to send you a subpoena, sir. So you have a subpoena. That was sent out on, and this would have had another updated paperwork. But this was sent out, Tim, on March 27th. So you got some extra paperwork with the amended warrant with your updated address. And you got a subpoena as well. So sorry, not going to say anymore. And I have all my proper paperwork here. I can't show too much because there's too much personal information on there. Too many addresses and names and stuff, because of it all. But everything I have has been taken care of. No, I can show this part maybe. Taken care of, see this stamp here, Tim, right here on the side. That's part of an affidavit of service, okay, that gets sent to the Commonwealth. That's how that stuff's done, Tim. Well, I promise you, we have a lot of patients that fight against us once they get told they got type 2 diabetes. I promise you, I've had a lot of come to Jesus moments, but we try to be as, have some sense of some optimism, that the results will be good for the patient. We can't promise everything though. Obviously, we have people sign a lot of waivers that they could die. But Tim probably, if he had spoken to any, attorney for a free 15-minute consultation, was probably getting that dose of pessimism. I doubt he was enjoying it. But anyway, we can see on his counter, looks like he's getting stuff. And some of this looks like it's got like cover paper on top of it. And that potentially could be something that's submitted along, because I don't recognize that, but that could be something that the Secretary of the Commonwealth adds along to it when they do their part. So, yeah. So it seems like Tim's been getting some paperwork over there. So I don't know what you're talking about, Tim. I know that could be some of the other stuff you got too, but I'm not paying, all the time just to hold your hand. You got upset last time. Remember? Don't you remember, Tim? Last time I had you served at the Bradenton slab, you got upset. You said in the motion to dismiss that they didn't serve you properly. And then that, you probably got upset because they revealed your height being 5'8".
Please, Don. Come on now. Huh? Folks, I don't need any more coffee. Or, of course, the way I drink it. I've got, this is the one I bought.
Yeah, thank you,
Michael.
Real Melvis.
Thank you again, Michael. And this is, of course, St. Louis Scott. And we're down to...
And I don't mind my people saying stuff about me, but if I think they're a creepy stalker that I may have to do something about, then yeah, I am going to be a little bit more feisty. I've never once said that the fact that I have to bring Tim from Florida, Virginia for court is something I would have rather never had to have dealt with in my life. I would never go anywhere near anywhere where Sarasota Tim is. But there are a couple of creators on this platform who are very comfortable at coming near creators and their spaces. And it's not about seeing a legal process in action. It's about being a creep. It's about being, because when they stalked this guy, there was nothing like that going on. They just did it to be a weird creep. So they need to watch themselves.
Yeah, you can see right through it. It's right here halfway.
Creeps out there.
He got me 2 of these. I drank the heck out of them because I like it.
Right.
So this there you go. Let's load up. Look, let's take that. I'm gonna take that spoon out because I'm gonna be.
Well, sometimes as a female creator, you have to be cautious too, because like I said, Tim's been stalked by some weird guys on this platform, and I have to be careful too because there's some weird talk going on, and these people are not lovers of the American legal process. They're just weird creeps. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to be
all
using
the energy I'm
the
going to get.
Premium roast. I can't wait to try the old original. So we'll put one out here like that. Put this one in here like that. Ay, ay, ay. Sorry, my back was turned to you. Hey, folks, let's talk about a couple of things. I was walking. Wasn't walking.
Certainly gave plenty of opportunity, but also sometimes the conversations you don't want to have with these people because there isn't a conversation to be had. And maybe that's the way Tim felt, but I know how Tim felt. So that's all I'm going to say.
I was looking at my phone this morning and I clicked on on Yahoo. I was curious as to what oil prices are. I made a video yesterday expressing my opinion of the economy and the cost of gas and stuff like that. And it ruffled a few feathers on people out there. That's all right. That's okay. Hey, there's plenty of things that ruffle my feathers. But it talked about
like how much an attorney costs and the fact that they probably want $1,000 retainer from you, Tim. But I can get a good look right there at his papers because his camera got in better action. He's got a lot of paperwork sitting over there, and it's probably at a reading level far beyond what Tim has actually acquired through school.
A headline that Trump heard the people speak or is being told by his advisors that we don't want no war or any longer than we have to and to bring our boys home. And I don't know. These are headline clickbait. You can't tell. So I just got curious as to if the war ended tonight.
I can promise things get read and then they get trashed in the emails.
There's an ultimatum by 8 o'clock tonight that he gave a rant that if let's smell it. Look at the color. Thank you very much, Polish Don. Thank you. If it were to end tonight, the tankers start going through the Straits of Hormuz. It takes weeks before oil isn't gas. Oil is crude oil. It has to be turned into gas. So it's got to get to the refineries. They got to turn it into gas. That takes weeks. And then it takes weeks for the gas to get to the different places and where everybody's stocked up again and our reserves are stocked.
Oh my goodness. Tim is finally understanding the oil pipeline. Jesus, Tim. I think Tim needs to have his voter card taken away. I'm sorry. Tim shouldn't be allowed to vote. He's just not smart enough. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to go back to what the only landowners should vote. How would you feel, Tim? Needs to be something here.
Anyway,
jeez.
Fall of this year,
I'm sorry.
Oil could be back from what it was at $60, $65 a barrel from the $113 a barrel yesterday. I don't know what it is today or what might happen. This is only an if come. That in the fall, we could see gas at the end of summer or fall. 3, 6.
I know. I'm not the one blocking them. People beg, and my moderators beg me to block people. I try to be as fair as I can, but I have no love. Let's put it this way. There's a certain group of people. I have no love lost for that group. And there's no reason for me ever to have a conversation with any of them. They're all creeps. Just weird, creepy men. That's what it seems like. It's the creepy club, and I don't want to be part of it.
Of $3 a gallon. Wouldn't that be great? So let's just hope.
That sounds nice.
And then this other story I read, I thought it was hilarious, is 15% of men today are lonely and have no friends.
No! Tim found an article about lonely men. And then he still somehow manages to make it a woman's problem.
3% in 1990. Now, I don't know if these stats are true. Yahoo's got full of, I only looked at it to get the oil price, but they have all these clickbait stories. And they really put a title on there to get you to click on them and read them. And what it was is women are getting tired of man keeping. And I thought, what is this? And so I asked AI, I didn't even read the story. I said, because AI knows. I said, what is this story I'm reading on Yahoo that says women are getting tired of?
One thing's a differing opinion. Another thing is just being an absolute troll. And I don't have to accept that. And neither does my community.
Man keeping. And according to him, the article reads that women, I don't know about women like our age, because most people watching me are geezers. I think that it might be younger women that are dating men, and they are just using them to dump all their problems on. And the women are like, look, I'm not an adult babysitter. Get you some friends.
You mean you didn't dump your problems on Tammy? So Tim thinks that, Tim hasn't realized that no woman wants to date him either.
Get psychology help. Go talk to a therapist. Join a men's group in church. Start golfing with a group of guys. Get you some buddies. But apparently guys today are just talking beer and sports, and they're not sharing their feelings about what's going on. Like, so they come home and
he went online. He got a hold of a Yahoo article when he was looking at gas prices, and he saw something about lonely men. He probably thought, "No, that sounds like me," and clicked on it. But he didn't read the article. He had AI summarize it because, Tim can't even probably cope with reading what's sitting over here. And he's probably asked an attorney, and attorney's probably said to him, well, I can book you for a consult and explain the case. And Tim can't explain the case because he thinks he's going to court for a completely different reason. Half of this community doesn't understand this case, including somebody who purported to once have been an attorney.
They get with their girlfriend and they're dumping on them about their job and their finances and the politics at work or whatever the deal is. They're just dumping on them. And the women, 37%, according to the article, can't believe a damn thing you hear. 37% of single women have said, nah, I don't want anything to do with it. I'll just stay solo. They're tired of not getting what they want from a man. And that men, because they don't have men friends, are doing this when they go out on dates.
Owen, Claudette, thanks. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you so long since the foodie days. What a night. I'm going to give you a round of applause for coming back and joining us tonight. Thank you so much for coming in. Good to hear from you. Yeah, he's literally just dumping all of his problems on the rest of us. He is literally using he's coming full locale circle at the moment. Thank you for that. He is. He needs to just dump it on everybody else. He likes me a lot. He'd like me to be his nurse with a purse, probably. Oh, I haven't finished with him. We'll get back to Mikey because bless his heart. He's struggling with protein shakes and understanding what iodine's for. I'll help him out. Oh, Timmy. Timmy's got all that reading over there. It's going to be a higher level than fourth grade, Tim.
And they're like bored with it. Women are a lot more about sharing their problems and talking their issues over with their girlfriend.
I'm going to court.
They only want to talk, like I said, beer and sports. They don't want to sit and talk about their intimate feelings. And, I somewhat understand that.
That's great. Yeah, beer, sports, and then getting the man's problems dumped on us. Can we not talk about our hopes and dreams too? And Tim wonder why he's single. Tim, you're going to struggle.
Going to a men's group in church or maybe a really genuinely close friend of yours that you can share. And that's totally easy to do with someone you really trust and, knows you good. But if it's just an acquaintance.
Yeah, free money. Tim retired before that.
You're not likely to open up to some guy and tell him.
Tim retired at 60. Well, Tim retired in his 30s because remember, he worked a few hours a day, a couple of days a week to put a couple of hundos in his pocket because that's all he needed to get that sand rail.
Your problems. So anyway, that was just something I read. But if you are a guy,
yeah,
I'm going to go with 1.5 of this. If you're a guy and you are, what are we going to do with this coffee?
No, Tim hasn't advanced and Tim's getting nervous because he needs to be in court here in Virginia on Friday. And it's Tuesday. But he pre-records some stuff too. And he's concerned about an e-bike and he's just got a bunch of his legal paperwork spread out over here. So I think he needs to figure some stuff out, other than how much gas is costing him. Because, every time, this guy, reality, this is like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, pretty much. That's keep going, Tim.
In there. And you're doing that. They don't like it. They don't like it. And so if you're wanting to meet someone, and now you've taken 37% of the single women off the market. Had to cut the video there. I heard somebody deliver something else.
I promise you, Tim, once they find out you're a triple trumper, you've got even less chance.
Side, got my new readers from Amazon, rejoined Amazon Prime, and I got the 3.0s. They're just a gray color. You got these little gray inserts in here. I've got blue and green. But anyway, I like these because they're a rubber, and the nose thing can't break off. It's just part of the frame. And they're really soft.
Well, Tim's got all those men that are his fans. We know St. Louis Scott's a single guy, so we know why he sends him coffee all the time. Because he's got a thing for Tim. All these guys are probably, got something for Tim. A deep passion.
On your nose, and when you're using them all the time to read, like I am, I should have bought 2 pair. And I had a few dollars on some rewards on my credit card. So I got them.
I know. He's got to wait for that e-bike, because trying to figure out a $5,000 and a over $29,000 judgment isn't worth worrying about. Because we can pray that away. Or we can send made up letters over here. I understand the pessimism that comes with law, and I promise you, we followed every part of pessimism, but now I get to be a little bit positive.
Here they are. Now, recently 2 pair have broken. The lens broke out, and let me show you something right here. On these are these Iron Mans I got at Walmart. Look at the nose bridge. How it's ripped off. But, I have to use them to see, because I can't see.
Oh, that's
inside the length of my arms. Otherwise, I see fine. So anyway,
sounds nice.
Again, thank you, Polish Don, for the coffee. I already had another cup there. I'm all coffeeed out for a while. The e-bike that I'll be receiving today is due anytime. I'm going to wait around for that. Then I'm going to take off up to the mall, or if it stops raining, I'll get to the Nathan Benson area, and I'll be walking, getting my 10,000 or at least 7,000 steps in. I'm going to get out of these shoes. I'm wearing some topsiders, and I think I'll put on some better shoes to walk in. I walked in these one time before, and you definitely need your walking.
I see his Amazon box covered up his court papers. That seems like you got some notifications over there to me, Tim, in some manila colored envelopes. I can't figure out, once I send everything certified to the secretary, that's my receipt that I did my proper part of the service of sending that to you. Only thing I can then find out is whether or not it was picked up at the post office by them. And from what I understand, speaking to the clerks, that takes a little time to move through there. But I did the service in more than enough time for the case. I think it's 10 days, and I gave at least 20, if not more. So I was pretty darn fair.
Use to do long distance. But right now I'm all spiffed up for video, baby, video. Anyway, watching some good things on YouTube with Pakistani truck and Christian programming that's AI.
Yes.
And then, of course, Grit TV, all my Westerns, keeping my mind really focused and renewing of my mind and staying positive about everything. It's really good and refreshing to do. I will continue to make videos regarding my personal feelings about the situation we've got going on in our country with the cost of living, the price.
Why? What expertise do you have to talk about any of I don't talk about these I talk about these topics just because it kind of comes along with talking about you, Tim. But in reality, you have no, other than just being somebody affected, this is where you go to TikTok and you make a TikTok, okay? Complaining, because that's what people on TikTok do. But you are going to be just getting regurgitated articles, I guess, from Yahoo Finance, but you're not any type of economist. You're not a political major or have done anything in the world of politics. You're not an attorney who have an understanding of the laws and the different political things that are happening policy-wise in this country. usually either attorneys or, people who are political science majors, journalists. These are the people that we want to hear from on these topics. And every man like you, Tim, who is swayed so easily by a cultist mind trap, is not the person that anybody on this platform should be getting information from. That's just my opinion. As somebody who works in healthcare and has seen people get really panicked about stuff that they hear in the news, and also, it's and we should be aware. But I think that Tim is not the person to be spreading the awareness. It's not your stuff to do, Tim.
Fuel and everything. Just so you know, 100%. I voted for Donald Trump. I support my president. I voted for him the first time, the second time, and the third time. He didn't win the second time. And there wasn't even a contest on the third one against the running mate, the other choice.
Well, I guess that's something from a triple Trumper, that you actually admitted that he didn't win the second time. It means I guess you're slightly off the Kool-Aid.
But do I agree with everything every president I've ever voted for says? No, neither do you. In fact, a lot of people I used to meet on the golf course, you say, I'm just embarrassed to say or admit that I voted for him. I just wish he would zip it, like the way he tweets and things like that. And I get it.
Well, Tim, unfortunately, if he has advancing Alzheimer's or any of the potentially considered neurosyphilis, and there's been a lot of conversations about that too, because he raw dogged it, I hate to say that, back in the 80s. God, I just can't think. I think you're going out Al Capone style. But Tim.
Be critical, on Easter Sunday, and using vulgar language and being the president of the United States. Those are things that are usually said behind closed doors, maybe to other leaders and stuff. I mean, to tweet that out, I don't know. But we know who he is. We know what he was when we voted for him.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't hold back. He doesn't
happening.
care. And so, deal with it. But do I agree with everything?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, Larry. We don't believe you. But yeah, no, he is, in my estimation.
No.
But I don't care.
Is there something
it doesn't bother me, but he sends the man coffee all the time. Seems to have like a bit of a passion. I don't care. Don't bother me.
Work out. I'm praying for that. So I still support him. And there was no way I was going to even come close to voting for Kamala Harris. What a train wreck.
He's trying to say calamity, like he's funny. No, you're a calamity, Tim. You're the calamity, sir. Yeah, just keep telling us about how you're not a racist and then come out with something racist, okay? Why don't you just, the man in the video outside the Dick's for 30 minutes talking about the fact that you're no longer a racist, bigoted, hateful person is now going to, underline and underscore again how he is a racist, bigoted, hateful person. I cannot, Tim. Trying to talk about this stuff. I'm just, everyone's got a right to practice whatever religion they want. You don't believe that. You're some Christian nationalist Southern Baptist, Tim, in my estimation. And that's not a good compliment.
Biden, God bless him. He was losing his mental faculty, so he wasn't going to be able. So they yanked him out of there. But what did they put in? Someone that we didn't even vote for in the primaries to get elected. They just stuck her in there.
I don't think talking about faculties that just no. Sorry. The excuses on that need to be out the window, Tim. I'm sorry. I don't want a political rant, but you are out of control, sir.
And she didn't know anything.
You don't own homes. You've got no investments into anything. You have nothing invested. Just your time on a YouTube channel.
I mean, that's the kind of common belief among everybody in America. So I don't know why anybody has a hard time with the fact that we've got President Trump. And that he does care about this country. And he's been doing more than anybody in my lifetime's ever done. But do I agree with everything? Heck no. But do I agree with most of the thing? Heck yes. And so keep going and keep doing, and hopefully keep him in your prayers of everything going on. And I'm sure that he will see this country prevail and, be safe and everything like that. All right, we'll talk to you on the next one. Crush it.
No. Look, it's Miss Vicky. Yay! Oh, I might have to check. Oh my goodness. So I heard that there was a creator who was only 53 years old called Dingo showed her in a video because he followed her. There was a lady that did a cooking channel, Mama Mia or somebody like that. And she used to do all different types of Amish recipes and so forth. Very sadly passed away at 53 years old. So that was shocking and sad. And that was something that I was not expecting. Yeah. Tim just out here ranting away about the end of the world. Oh my God, no! Look at this, guys. We got an evening chat. Okay, let me grab a soft drink for a second. We're gonna have a little break here. Do I have like a way to do a break for just a minute? Let me see. Do I have a break? Yeah, I'm gonna be right. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be right back. I am gonna take a second.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Welcome to Evening Chat, and it's a good night tonight. The war has been postponed, and the ceasefire on both sides has been agreed to. And from what I understand, oil is already on its way down, and positive things are coming out of it. So praise to God, who is touching the ears and the minds and the hearts of the leaders around the world to get things back to control. Because we, you, me, and the people of this world are the ones that care and the ones that God is really concerned with. And He's not going to let some strange governments and people ruin it for the rest of us. So again, God is always in control. Praise be to God. And I've had a pretty good day today. My bike finally arrived from FedEx about 30 minutes ago. My favorite FedEx lady, Miss R, and she's a new subscriber. I'd like to welcome her to the community. She's a very nice lady that's got a very nice job, and she was very interesting to talk to. She's a little bit too young for Social Security yet.
Oh, no. I bet he gave her one of his business cards. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe since you found this gym. Yes, we're doing it. And now he's got no excuse not to travel. The bike is here, guys.
But she's got a bright future ahead of her. I'm glad I went out there and helped her. She let me use a little dolly. That thing weighs 100 pounds in the box with all the shipping stuff. And so you never know what kind of driver's going to come. It could have been a big, strong guy. But it was Miss R, and she was, it was heavy for me. I went for that dolly. So we got it out of the truck. I got it into storage, and I'll be opening that up tomorrow and building it and bringing you a video of the new e-bike. And I'm very excited about it. Tonight, I got a call from my son, or a text, I should say. He saw the video on using the applesauce, and he was raised on eating cinnamon apples.
Oh, goodness me. That has to be the one son that talks to you. Tim is excited because he's got to get that video done for his, review. He probably has time to do it. So, but this is the priority. We see where Tim's priorities are. It's always on Tim. Even him being called to a courthouse is not a priority. Somehow he still magically thinks it's going to disappear. It's a different shirt. Yes, we always wonder about how he films, but this is supposedly the one that just came out like just an hour ago.
Chops, and that made him hungry, and he was like, I would never eat a pork chop without applesauce
Education
on it. I don't know if many of you out there have ever heard of that. It's kind of a known thing that applesauce goes with pork chops and a pork type meal. If you've never tried it, try it out. It was like me with heavy whipping cream and coffee. Now I could never drink coffee with regular cream or milk. Now, what if I had to? But anyway, I feel really elated tonight about the good news of, that we're not putting innocent people and children, and they don't have water and electricity and communications. And
Tim, yes, we agree. But yes, you are part of the problem.
I mean, how would you like us to be the vulnerable country that had a very evil government, and we were afraid to say anything because they'll kill you? And
what are you talking about, Tim? We have all sorts of stuff happening on the streets here in the United States. You seem to be unaware. Okay. A registered nurse got killed on the streets of Minnesota.
only 1% of the people who even have the internet. And to make things worse, because of their evil government, somebody else has to come in and blow the place up to get them to finally listen. And now you have to go.
He wouldn't be wanting to spend Virginia prices for any length of time. But maybe.
Without food, water, stores, transportation, utilities, it would be a very, very terrible thing for us if we were in that position. So war is no good. So I don't know if anybody was hoping for that or wishing for that, but I can tell you that the media is so evil. I peeked over there.
He could be traveling, but obviously we know the war just had a ceasefire, and Tim's in his RV talking about it. So unless he's traveled up road, and I doubt that happened, I have a feeling he's still on the Bradenton slab.
Night because of the breaking news. And I looked at both sides real quick. I was in and out. And just as fat, I'm telling you, I'm correct about this media. They are awful. One side is
yes,
which is pro-Trump.
That is
Fox
interesting
news.
And it's not what every family in the South does, or the United States, because I remember too, my grandmother, when she made pork chops, we would have applesauce. That was the one good thing about those dry pork chops, was it came with some applesauce. No wonder I went vegetarian at 14.
Both agreed to a ceasefire. And then CNN
I still love applesauce, though.
Trump back down. Will we ever be able to trust him again at his word? Can you believe it? And then earlier they were like against him doing anything, and like that to hurt the people, right, and children and all that. And now Trump backs down. I'll tell you what, man. The liberal people in this world, the Democrats, the CNN lovers, the Trump haters, the people with the derangement.
Now he's talking the Trump deranged. You're the deranged one, Tim, in my estimation. You think CNN's a liberal channel? You really are drinking some Kool-Aid.
Rome, the people that hate God, the people that hate anybody are just.
I supposedly hate God, though. My friend who sent me the Virgin Mary with the baby Jesus for Easter would say otherwise. I had a friend of mine make me I have a friend of mine who's very devout Catholic, and she's sending me blessings regularly, Tim.
Just as bad as this regime that we're trying to get rid of in Iran. Evil is rampant, but God is in control, right, and He's in control of what goes on here, and what goes on around the entire universe. Praise be to God. So yeah, I'm feeling good now, and I got my push-ups in today. I didn't do any walking. I didn't walk yesterday. I feel really bad about that. It was raining this morning. I'm sitting here all day waiting on the FedEx guy. I guess he could have left it out there, or her, but because it didn't rain anymore. But I just got engrossed in watching some YouTube here, and was just sitting here, which I've done for a couple of days. I didn't want to get out and drive and burn gas, So, and it was way too windy and ugly today to get out.
You mean you're not getting that good return on the mileage since you write off everything as a YouTube video?
KLX. So I just chilled out. And you know what? I didn't have a problem with it because I do what I want to do. That's the great thing about being retired. And tomorrow, I'm a little stir crazy right now. I'm ready to hit the ground running in the morning. Literally, I'm ready to run. Now I'm going to try and walk. And I'm going to walk 5 miles. I'm going to walk at least 3 first session. And I'm going to get some.
Yes, I am trying to stay upbeat. I obviously understand there are always roadblocks. Don't worry. I am trying to stay upbeat, though, because it has been tiring.
Steps in. And I'm already determined. Again, you can say what you want.
Things seriously.
I'm already determined to. Well, you can't see, but I'm getting down to just.
Yeah, I should let him stay here. I got a room. I'll rent it to him $500 a night with the dogs.
Meat, butter, and eggs, baby. I really do. I want to. I saw the scale going up, so I'm not stupid. Okay, some people say I am. But
that's true.
When you see the scale going down, if you do this, and you see the scale going up, when you do that, right?
But it's all the liberals' problems, Come on, But everything is because of liberals. And the person he definitely wants to see in a court is a progressive like me. He thinks CNN, jeez, that to me is like corporate media. He's no idea then, does he? He really has no idea.
What's the definition of
I guess I'm a
insanity?
commie.
Is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So I know what needs to be done, but we're all weak. We're all weak. We all fail. We all
it's over now because the ceasefire has come to an end.
It's a never-ending circle.
Now that's the ceasefire, Tim can go back to being his racist, bigoted self, Gen X. Yes, it doesn't matter now. That lasted all of a day. Because he was such a the biggest liberal. I will agree with that. Because of liberals. Yes, Tim is broke. Well, there may be a liberal that makes Tim broke, but I wouldn't really call myself a liberal. I'm more of a progressive than a liberal. There's a difference. I'm even a bigger nightmare for Tim.
But we do what we can, and we get back on the horse. And that's the thing, is never give up and keep going. So I'm back on track to try to get my thing going.
Yeah,
definitely,
that would be Christian.
Would hope to hear that oil prices are dropping.
But since Tim's unhinged and has guns, I will take a hard pass no on that and be Christian to my dogs.
Say, Tim, load up and go. You're not going to pay more than $3.75 a gallon.
Yeah, that's never happened.
That's about as low as it's probably ever going to be this year. So
this person would never be invited in my home, just because I would never.
I'd love to get out there.
I don't care where he's
and move down the road and do something different. Slow roll. That's what I want to do. I want to slow roll, and especially I'm not really missing.
I know
the fact that I haven't left out of here yet.
Yes, I think there was another lady. You're right. Gosh, no, I feel like it kills me too. It's like, there's another lady, and I think she did something. I don't know if it's that Caroline's RV channel, RV Life, but there was another lady recently, and she got super on the Kool-Aid about everything. They get into the rapture and just this absolutely wild just stuff going on. I think that guy Mikey's still upset the rapture didn't happen. He's out here trying to we have to almost go over that video with Mikey saying that everybody else is stupid while he's trying to figure out about iodine. And there was something else he said. I was like, you cannot be calling other people stupid when you said some of the stupidest things I think I've heard, and super uneducated. Super unread, and then talking that it's just wild to me. Yeah, I make commentary, but I also know at least up to a certain where my area of expertise lies, and then I have, unlike some of these individuals, I have traveled a lot and lived in a lot of different countries and in different cultures, and have seen it from a different perspective. So fortunately for me, at a young age, I was able to be educated to not be as ignorant as Tim. But Tim is super ignorant. Yes, I'm a woman living alone. Absolutely. I would never have that happen. Yeah, there's no way. As nice as that might seem, as a single female, having this strange man in my home never would happen.
It's beautiful here. It's been beautiful. And the heat that we've had these sunny days, I was like, hey, it can get hot here. I can see that. It's nothing. We've had nothing.
I don't know.
Like what we'll get in June, July, and August, and September. So when those months come, there's plenty of time left to want to be vacant from this cement slab somewhere else. And it's hot everywhere. It doesn't matter. Unless you go all the way up to Ted and Jolene's.
Tim is not a dog person, and I have 2 pit bulls. I don't even think my dogs would let him in my house, to be honest. I don't have dogs that if they sense that Tim had any animosity, they probably rip him a new one. My dogs literally guard around me walking. I know there's a lot of guys that always say they take people's dogs out. I promise you, I have one dog that the vet is Junebug. Junebug can move. Junebug can literally turn in the air a 180, faster than you can believe. Just literally turn. Even it freaks the vet out. It's that pity turn that they do. Roscoe doesn't do it, but Junebug does. And she can turn, she can be facing one direction and she will just jump and be facing the other direction in a second, man. It is the wildest thing. And so I wouldn't want that near me. And Junebug specifically, because I guess I've had her for a long time. She really keeps an eye out. If we're out walking at night, Roscoe can get somewhat distracted. Junebug is looking around constantly, man. I think she would tear him a new one.
place in upstate New York, you're really not going to escape
This is my
the heat.
thoughts.
But just like Laughlin, just like Las Vegas, just like in Utah, that heat is hotter than here.
Yes.
Here is hotter than Atlanta, hot
know.
Atlanta. This is unbearable, but the desert Southwest, Vegas, Nevada, Bullhead City, Utah, Moab, totally uninhabitable. I would not even think about being there in the summer months. So if I
Tim, you didn't think about being there in the winter months either because it would have been too cold. So keep making, keep telling everyone. You can see little kid. Look at Tim. Look at his little setup here. Look at Tim being the influencer. With his little camera setup. You can see it there. Oh, look at him go.
Be up around the lake in some shade trees around Lake Lanier, I think they call it up there in Georgia, or in Tennessee where I was, or somewhere different. And get out and play with the KLX and hit some trails and some fire roads. It sounds like a good fun time to me. Getting these axles greased up, getting those tires put on the bike, changing that oil one more time. I've got everything ready to go. These are all the things I got plenty of time to do. Because like I say, it's beautiful here. It's absolutely beautiful. The Canadians, the New Yorkers, the Michigan people, they haven't left yet. They don't leave until, they should be leaving soon. They usually leave after Easter sometime because it's getting pretty, very warm and nice up where they live, Michigan, New York.
Oh.
But yeah, so I'll just follow as the doors open up. But I'm definitely going to be doing something. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I try to be good about washing my hands frequently throughout the day because obviously I pet my dogs all the time, especially after I pick up poop.
I'm going to sit my rest of my days right here. But right now, this is the place to be. I'm loving it. And I do want to work on my tan a little bit. I keep thinking I want to sit in a chair at the beach.
But I sleep with my dogs too. My dogs are like, they're my shadows, man. I mean, these two are like, I don't care. I don't care. I know that actually having access to dogs and stuff actually can help your, immune system when you're a kid and things. So it's good to get dirty sometimes.
Beach on the sand. And maybe tomorrow that's what I'll do. But today was like windy. Maybe tomorrow's not going to be that great either. I know we had a couple of days of some precip. If you looked at the weather map, if you watch the weather,
it's not good. Maybe he's trying to be strategic and not let me know his stuff. But if he hasn't gotten anything prepared and he's got an 800-some mile journey, this is going to be awesome.
we were the only part of the country that really got precip today. It was pretty gnarly here. Even though I talked to Ted and Jolene, it was raining over there this morning. So we shared some time on the phone. But it's nice out there right now. It's breezy, cool, feels good. So gonna take that bike with me probably when I take my travels. I'll have that to scoot around on the campgrounds and stuff. That'll be fun. Gonna be making some videos for the company that sent it to me. That's all part of the deal. And I'll be enjoying it as well. And hopefully.
Well, I don't know if I can do a poll at a members only because sometimes it stops me from doing that. Maybe I'll try it from the YouTube end. I don't think I can see it though. We'll see. Hey, I know who will be in court on Friday. Gosh, Friday. It's only a few days away, guys. I got my hair trimmed today. I don't know if you can tell, but Timmy gets his hair trimmed. I got my hair trimmed today too, Tim. So I can look nice, be respectful. I've, obviously been educated to be accustomed to being in situations of high stress because I work in healthcare. So this is something that even though I'm nervous, I'm obviously confident. I've grown professional. It's not something I'm nervous about. I'm not somebody ill prepared like somebody I know that looks like they're not even sleeping well. And they deserve it.
That new ramp that I'm going to be getting, that should be delivered in the next few days. That's going to make it easy to
The
get that
dog
bike on the back of the
excuse
truck.
Timmy.
And I'm going to have what I need to do when I'm ready to do it. But that's about it for tonight. I can't make any more coffee. I just can't drink anymore today.
I did used to keep I grew up with a mother who used to not let the dogs up in anything when I was little. So the dog slept under the bed, was never up, you never snuggled with a dog like that. And then I kind of, when I had my first ever dog, that was kind of how I knew to have dogs. So I had a little area, in my home in Mexico there, the dog would be in the house throughout the day and stuff. But at night, instead of him being here, poor little Charlie, it changed once I moved here to the States. But initially he would sleep in the I had like a laundry room with his bed and everything, and the cat was there and stuff. So he was out with the cat, but he wasn't out there for very long because I used to go to bed late, and then the housekeeper would be there early. So the dog was giving constant, like he had constant company because I had a housekeeper. So that dog was spoiled rotten. And but then once I got to the States, he was here, but he didn't sleep in the bed because that really wasn't his habit. But I did have him like up on the couch and stuff. And then after I got my little dog Dolly, I just gave up. And I did. And then once I got like the pit bulls, it's been like they have no sense of like personal space. They're super Velcro. And so I got mad enough, I think, the other day, like telling them off about the chair they ripped, my recliner, that they've kind of kept, and I put a cushion and they haven't knocked it off. So I guess they realized that I wasn't happy about that one. They're pretty smart. I was like, God darn you dogs.
Okay. I'm actually going to go get a shower and get in my PJs and get comfortable and sit here. And right now I have Ephesians explained.
I
Most people
know.
miss about this. I'm telling you, these AI Christian 20 to 30 minute shows are golden nuggets. I mean, it's really life changing. It's very inspirational. It's very
well. That's pretty good, especially if they're outdoor dogs. I mean, the habit is that you should wash your hands after dogs. Like I said, I have to wash my hands pretty regularly throughout the day because I do have dogs all the time. But you know, obviously, I'm in bed with them at night and stuff. So, but obviously, when I wake up in the morning and stuff, I wash my hands and urine, pee and stuff. But as a healthcare provider, I promise you, hand washing is something I live by. But yeah, I kind of grew up with that idea too. But it came to a sharp end as an adult. I said, heck with it. These poor dogs have been living in shelters and stuff, and darn, who cares now? It's not the end of the world.
very encouraging. So if you're watching,
they have to get weekly
negativity,
baths though.
do yourself a favor and check out some of this and listen to it. It'll really brighten your day up and make you feel a better about it. And then you can see how God's actually working in the world and what he's doing. And the way he does it, right? Takes it all the way to the end every time.
Yes. Yeah, that happens. I promise you. Oh, and the kids in the bed is something I see a lot, especially having been as a nanny and obviously even as a pediatric nurse, trying to break that sort of bond of the parent and the kids. It's really hard. Get a lot of that. And then the dogs are in the bed too. Everyone's you know, I think, you know, we used to be a lot more like separate. I guess there was a time where the dogs probably were like that, you know, and then we became more separated from our dogs as we began to have houses and the dogs started to go more outside. And now, because I certainly remember as a child in the 70s, you know, my friends having the dog out in the doghouse and stuff. Now you never see a yard with a doghouse anymore. And if it is, you know, the dog's probably still in the house. Times have changed. And I have to say, I like having my dogs with me on the couch to snuggle and watch movies and stuff.
To the last minute. And then that way we always see that it can only have been from God.
Oh,
you know,
no,
no. This is great news.
Oh, thank you, Catherine.
I wouldn't be happy about this. This is
I
fantastic.
think we're going to be finishing this up anyway. Thank you so much for being here and moderating. You enjoy your lunch, sweetheart. It wasn't as trolly tonight, so that was good. I guess they're all powwowing, trying to figure out something.
So we have, another win for our president that is keeping us safe and doing everything that no other president in my lifetime has ever had the courage to do. And even though I'm sure he's got people
What are you talking about, Tim? He's an horse. And most of America thinks so. I'm not alone in this one. You are just a rolling nut bag.
advise him, and he does take it under advisement,
that
he's got his own brain. And I believe that God, with that narrow bullet passing him, did send him and put him in position that he
Do my patient's family have pets? I got a horse.
is in to save our country. God's doing the work, using him because he's got the power, a lot of power, not all the power, to get done. He's using him in his way. God uses you in your way. God is using me. God is using me. I hope God too. I surrender.
Then the uncle has had a dog, and the dog is up with him at his apartment. So yeah, the little girl knows she's there. And then grandma just lost her dog. So they have pets.
My life to him, whatever I can do. And so if we all collectively think that way and work that way and support each other, we'll definitely crush it.
Oh, no. No, you're not crushing anything, Tim. You're not crushing anything. Oh, Lord. Trump scores another win for America. Lord of my life, Tim. Are you serious? I cannot with this guy. Got 490 views in an hour. Oh, my goodness. Then, of course, he had the sleep mat where he's lying on the floor. I can't see that. That's a view I don't want to see. It's a shame JJ's not around to get that one for one of his dream videos. And then he destroyed something on a grill. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Tim is planning a trip to Virginia anytime soon, which is interesting. Unless he's pre-recorded these videos. But since we know that he's announcing news that's just occurred, then that gives us a good idea where he's at the moment. I don't think that he's sly and he's coming from an unknown Buc-ee's or Love's Truck Stop or south of the border or anything of that nature at the moment. I think Tim currently on the Bradenton slab. In fact, that's interesting and good to know. I guess he just thinks if he prays it hard enough away, maybe he thinks President Trump will come in and rescue him on this one. Oh my gosh, I cannot. As it relates to the ballroom. Well, you talk about, you mean the Golden Shower ballroom? What the American taxpayers never asked for? Oh, because the other day, Trump, that was my favorite thing too, told us all that, we don't have the money for Medicare or day care or anything, health care. We don't have the money for that. That has to go to the states. Only the states. And obviously, probably some of the states that voted for President Trump might not actually have some of the biggest tax revenues. So they may be the least able to afford these services for their population. And because, my federal taxes supposedly only go to wars. So I'm definitely going to make sure I can figure out every federal dollar that I can call back in my taxes this year. And I'm working on mine. I got to get that finished. So that's one of the big things I'm working on because, I don't want to be funding wars. That's for sure. And luckily the Commonwealth, I guess, does stuff for its population. But screw that. Tim out here, he don't know shite. You just finished your prison job. I know. How many shifts now? We're just finishing my prison job here. So you're going to have to sadly catch us on the replay. Garnish the hell out of Timmy. I know. Tim is delusional as ever. He's more concerned about building a bike for review than trying to get to a case that he has in Virginia. And he just thinks it's all giggles, I guess. The only person who's going to be giggling on Friday is me. And then I guess I'm going to be giggling really a lot on the 17th of April. I'm going to be having a lot of giggles then because I guess he needs, 26 days. Congratulations. God, I'm like 10 years. But, I'll take it. I'm young, and I'm following after the Tim because, everyone's so upset that, I don't work, have to kill myself full time, but I'm broke. Because I'm broke. Tim is worried. He got rain today here in rural Alberta where I got another 3 inches of snow. Oh my gosh, stay safe in that. Oh my gosh, yes. I remember visiting Niagara Falls in April, and it was still a solid layer of ice over that water, and it was freezing. And I was living in Mexico and had just been to the Bahamas and had come from the Bahamas up to Niagara Falls, and it was such a and of course I did not, you know, I don't know what I thought I was going to find in April in Canada, but let's put it this way. I didn't have a proper wardrobe. I had to go shopping. And I got like some sort of like hoodie or something from the Gap. I don't know. I don't think it was still enough. I just remember having the best ever oysters of my life when I went to Toronto. I love oysters. That's the one vegetarian thing I do not eat, obviously. I'm more of a pescatarian, I'd say. And they had the biggest oysters. These things must have been like this. And I ate so many, I actually got like sick. And I don't think it's because I ate a bad oyster. I think it was just because I ate so many oysters. I probably ate like 24 of these things or something ridiculous. I didn't care. I was on my travels, and they were delicious and they were so good. But I've never seen oysters like I've seen in Canada. Those things are huge. My God, because we get the little bitty things down here. In the warmer waters, the oysters don't seem to get so big, but up in Canada, up in those cold waters, gosh, they get some big oysters. And here in Virginia Beach, we love some steamed oysters. In fact, if things go great on Friday, and thank you everybody for all your donations for breakfast for me from after my court, because I'm probably just going to have something light and get some coffee from Panera on my way to the courthouse. You can't take anything into the court. I don't want to load up on too much coffee, so I don't want to have to be using the ladies' room. But I might go and treat myself to some steamed oysters, or maybe some shrimp and grits or something. You just got back all of it, all your taxes. Good job. I know I need to sit with mine. I know I'm probably going to get some decent money just because of the fact that I write off the attorney's fees from last year. And then I have a lot of other expenses. This is, and I don't like to write off that much against my YouTube because I don't want it to look like a hobby. It needs to look like a business, because once you start to have it look like a hobby and you have too many things to write off against your YouTube monetization, it then you can't Schedule C stuff like that. It's like, no, it's a hobby and you can't write off a hobby. So your YouTube account needs to look like a business, which I always find interesting because I wonder how Tim does his taxes, because you have to show that you make a profit, because especially with this type of YouTube channel, otherwise, like I said, the IRS will see your channel as a hobby, that you just make enough on the monetization that it turns around and flips it to a business. But if I turned around and just kept writing stuff off all the time, because also I had an editor last year, obviously using the StreamYard services, I get to write off a portion, obviously, of my condo. I usually just take the safe harbor, the $500, because if you ever go to sell your property, then that can make it complicated on the taxes. There's all these different things. Obviously, there's a certain portion of like my electric bill, like 25%. There's all these different things. Yeah, the cold water oysters are the best. So there's all these different things that I have to consider. And then obviously my student loan interest, my property taxes of my home. I think I'm just going to have a lot more in that area than I've had ever before. So that's something that once I get through this date, I've got to sit down, because I think Thursday is probably when I'm going to sit down and do a lot of it, because I have to work tomorrow at the prison job, which isn't such a prison job. My patient was so happy because I remembered or not the family, I should say, because I remembered the policy that allows parents to receive Medicare benefits for their children up to the age of 19, regardless of the parent's income. And therefore, nobody would have to submit a W-2 or any type of pay stub or anything to Medicaid services based on the child's disability. And the mom really never wants to do that because she doesn't need to, because we have everything she needs from her physicians. So I actually remembered that it's what's known as the TERFA, T-E-R-F-A policy. It's the KT, I believe it was the KT. There's the Katie Beckett law that provides services for children regardless of their parents' income, because obviously previously, it would be all responsibility for the parents, and which could literally bankrupt a family who's trying to care for disabled children. And as a wealthy nation as we are, who can give tax breaks and talk about $1 trillion valuations for bullshit, I think we can do a little bit for our population here. That's just my thoughts. So give me if you are excited about me going to court with Sarasota Tim on Friday, make sure to give me a like on the way out. And if you don't think Sarasota Tim is going to show up to court on Friday, make sure to give me a like on the way out too. Steamed crabs. Heck yeah. I had some the other day. Yeah. Here, I don't know if it's the same in everybody's Kroger, but here in Virginia, in Virginia Beach, every Kroger, Harris Teeter has a seafood steamer. And then you can get your crab legs or your shrimp or anything steamed right inside the supermarkets with the Old Bay seasoning right there at the Kroger. And they don't charge you anything extra. You usually go straight up there. They had the crab legs, $9.99 a pound for Easter. And I had to go grab myself a pound of crab legs. And so you go ahead of time and you just say, hey, I want it heavy on the Bay seasoning. And they'll usually, and then you just say, how long is it going to take? And they'll be usually like, oh, it's going to take 10 minutes in the steamer. And you'll be like, perfect. And so you'll go off and get whatever else you need. And then right at the end, they'll have that steamed seafood ready right there for you. So if you're ever coming to Virginia Beach, and because the seafood restaurants will charge you an arm and a leg for the same seafood, probably coming from Cisco Foods. So what you have to do is if you have a hotel room and it's got a kitchen, you need to hit up the local Harris Teeter or the local Kroger store. And you need to go over there and you just need to tell them to do a pound of steamed shrimp and, get the Old Bay on there. And you'll pay a fraction of what you'll pay over at the restaurants. You have the J.O. Spice #2. Oh, see, in Virginia, it's Virginia. It's the Old Bay. We're fans of I know it's a Maryland product, but it's the Old Bay seasoning. Oh, well, we're so glad you gave us company here. It was so nice to see you. Yeah, come back in and see us. Yeah, we've got some real excitement happening over here. I got tired of, everybody else talks about taking people to court. I actually take people to court. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with legal action anymore. Great advice, Ray. Yeah. Thank you. You steam your own? Well, I don't have a big steamer like that, so I just get it done at the supermarket because they have the proper pressure steamers in there. I mean, I know you can do it over the pan and stuff, but you got to get all the vinegar and everything together. Because I had an aunt who used to steam stuff all the time. They used to steam up the shrimp all the time. But this is a way for us who are single and don't want to make a lot of mess in the house. And it's hot and they put it in a special bag and everything. all closed up. You gotta, you gotta go straight home to eat it. But that was, you get fresh lobster from the boat. Well, that sounds delicious, actually. I mean, I've had a lot of good blue crabs. Don't get me wrong. Back in the day, when my friends had less children to pay for, fewer children to pay for, no children to pay for, I should say. Goodness me. They would have blue crab picking parties and stuff. And we get tons of blue crabs up there and just pick crabs and, eat. I promise you, I've been to many a crab picking here in the South, especially a blue crab picking down in North Carolina. I've definitely been to that. Oh, well, I will keep you posted. Promise you. I am a fan of some seafood. I do love some seafood. In fact, I'm going to try to eat some. You single? You do it outside? And the burning the pot and the propane? Well, I can't do that because I have condo regulations that say I have to be 10 feet away from a structure. You're going to have to invite me up some of those crabs. Oh, well, you're going to have to send some down to me. All right, guys. I know the guys love it when I do the teenage thing, the love heart. I did a good job that time. I'm getting better at them. It's because it's what the kids do. All right. Make sure to do it on the way out, alike. And I appreciate you guys. I don't think I'll be going live tomorrow. And then Thursday, if you're a member of the Good Life community, I'll let you know when we're going live. I don't know if I'm going to do a poll yet, and we'll see because how distracted. I still have some stuff I need to do, but I definitely have to buckle down and do my taxes on Thursday because I'm running out of time. I don't even know which day's tax day. I know it's like the 15th of April. I used to file my taxes in February, and I probably have a return. I've just been really slow this year. I have so many taxes, I think, to put together. I just have to sit down and get it done. All right, guys. Wish me luck on that. Yes, make sure to hit the likes. And thank you, mods. Sammy, Catherine, and always, I know Angela Glass may or may not have been here, but she's always here in spirit. So I appreciate you all. And for all of you who made some very generous contributions, Thomas added some extra people to join us for the pre-game members only on Thursday. And Bertie for being so generous. Thank you, Bertie, for the pups. And I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. Well, if you're a member, you'll see us Thursday. All right, guys, for a brief time, not too long, though, because I have to get some sleep that night. But it's been fun. Thanks, Tim, for all the fun tonight. And you guys are making it even better. Yes, and I'm a little bit Friday after court. Well, if I have my taxes done, we definitely will. If I have my taxes done, Anne, because I know you're going to want to know what's happening. So we'll see what time on Friday. Just because, I was supposed to do a lot of stuff. I'm behind on a lot of things at the moment. Thanks, Tim. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.